Test, test, test. Hello, what's up, Wu-Tang? We're back. Yeah, I've been live a couple times in the last few days. Yesterday I wasn't, 'cause I pulled an all-nighter, couldn't sleep. How's it going, y'all? Justice for Renee, good. Second that. Oof. I haven't felt this twisted about something. Like reading the right's response to something. I've never felt so, I don't know, disgusted. Angry. Yeah. Yeah. Shit's really weird right now. United States, it's getting scary. Getting scary. The shit JD Vance said yesterday is actually wild. Truly wild. And so hypocritical. Like, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's saying. He knows where we're at right now. And it's so evil to see it still come out of his mouth. What's up? What's up, Emily? Support the Gestapo now in every city and every town. MAGA loves police states. They love police and military states. Guys, abide. Abide by the police state. You lawless thugs. Damn. Well, chat, tap the screen. Let's get to 10K. We are only at 1,700 likes right now, guys. YouTube, same with you. Please hit the thumbs up if you can. And if you're a Trump supporter, you want to debate, hop in the box. It's been a while since we've done this. Oh, we had someone, but he left. Whew. Share the live, y'all. Share the live. How about the oil execs totally embarrassing Trump? What's that noise? Hello?
Yeah, I hear you. Hello?
Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
Of course I am after what happened recently. Of course I am.
That's what,
Especially after what happened.
yeah? What happened?
I mean, he's getting us all, increasing the GDP, increasing the country's power.
Oh, God, David.
We are the
Increasing
world
their drunk
superpower.
country's power.
I mean, we are the world superpower, right?
I guess so. I don't know how long we are going to be though. Like, I think this push onto Greenland, it might even like actually be for Putin. I like literally think, I think NATO is going to be just about over, and I'm sure you're just going to be like, oh well, fuck NATO, we are NATO. But yeah, we're going to be even less powerful after that, right?
Well, what was the let's say the viewpoint from the left before this happened, right? Like Trump's too incompetent to make the country great. He's gonna fuck us over and
Yeah,
make us
this would be part
become.
of that, right? Like this would
Hold on,
be
hold on.
fucking up international relations for the rest of history with us.
No, no, not just international relations. You guys are telling us that Trump's gonna fuck up this country. He's gonna ruin our supremacy. He's gonna
Our
destroy the country
supremacy.
completely to the point that we can't be a
Doug, we
power
have a
anymore.
military state right now. We
No,
have
but hold
six
on,
people
hold
who've
on.
been killed by his secret police so far in the last year.
But you should really listen to this because was that not the agenda before this? The
So
agenda
we
was
see Trump
no hold on the
accumulating mass amounts of wealth, being extremely corrupt. Yes, it's all happening. What do you mean it's not
but hold
happening?
on, just
Where are we
listen to me.
been proven wrong?
The agenda was Trump's an idiot and that we are hypocrites because we made fun of Biden and his uh,
Mm-hmm.
idiocracy, or whatever the case may be. And
Yeah.
then Trump goes ahead and kidnaps the dictator of a country within a couple of hours, takes him to our country without any kind of struggle. And somehow I'm supposed to believe our president is incompetent and a total idiot and he's going to
Mm-hmm.
lead the country down to a
You
shitstorm.
really
I
think
don't
that
think so,
any
man. I think
president
he just showed our power.
I think literally any president, especially one with a Fox News host running the DoD, could absolutely go kidnap Maduro out of his country. That would have been easy, especially if he just broke all the like international laws doing it. Sure. Yeah. Good job. Bravo. Why
Well,
does it? Okay, who's next? Can we actually do one that matters? So Netanyahu, he's a dictator. We can go yank out of office too, right? Uh, we've got plenty of others that are actually threats. We've got you guys are cheering that we went and saved all of these people of Venezuela because they're suffering. What about the people in the front lines of Ukraine just dying? What about all of the people that got lost, like lost USAID? The millions that will die just from that. Thank God we saved $9 billion doing that so we can go do this shit with Maduro and save these people.
well, the interesting thing is, and this is something the CIA even admires from the UK themselves, when their intelligence agency wants to do something, they just go ahead and do it. With us, we have to sign so much paperwork, we have to pass it on to them, get their
Checks and
confirmation.
balances. And at the
We have
same
to do,
time,
we
I
have,
bet
hold
you're
on, hold
going
on.
to tell
We
me that
have
the
to do so much.
CIA, I bet you're going to tell me next that the CIA is so corrupt and we're involved in so many things we shouldn't be. But
No,
you really
here's what
want
I'm
Trump
about
to
to
be
tell
able to
you.
do that.
Here's what I'm going to tell you if you listen. We have to go through so many hurdles just to do anything. And that's so ineffective and so
But
wasteful.
we're already
When
the
it comes
superpower
to
of the
Trump,
world.
when it comes to Trump and what you mistake as incompetence is just effectiveness, is Trump goes ahead and does the stuff he needs to do. He needs the oil for our country to reign supreme.
We
He
don't.
needs the oil to get
I
more
think
power.
honestly,
Well,
no,
they
we
just
don't.
had a talk
The
with the
oil is
oil
not good for us,
investors in
dude.
our country, and Trump does the things that are needed, and he doesn't listen to anybody. He does his own thing, and he uses his own mind to come to conclusions, and that's why our country is getting stronger from this oil we're about to take and this oil we're about to sell.
Okay. All right. So if you actually know what you're talking about, there's a guy. There's a guy. His name is Mr. Global, and he talks about this and how this might actually hurt us and dip oil below the dollar amounts that is like the Goldilocks zone for people to make money, for small businesses to not go under. So this very well could be bad for us, bro. So congrats. Good. Thanks, Trump.
So it's gonna be bad for us because
You're
some small
cheering. Do,
businesses might
Hey,
suffer.
are you stoked about what we did in the Middle East? Like over the last 20 years?
Which part?
Like all of it, like all of the Middle East, like trillions and trillions of dollars, our involvement there for oil. Was that good?
Tell me a couple of countries.
Oh my God.
Now give me some, because we've been
Iraq.
not just in the Middle East. Iraq?
Yeah.
Did we gain a significant amount of oil in Iraq?
The whole reason we were there is for oil, right? We found
Can
out.
you prove that?
Were there weapons of mass destruction? Is that what you think?
No. Does that mean the conclusion is we were just there for oil? Is that
What do you think
proof
we were
of
there
that
for?
conclusion?
Hey, do you like the fact that we were there?
Well, now you're doing a whole logical fallacy. So
You're
because
being super
hold
careful.
on, because I can't name the conclusion, therefore I have to
Uh,
assert to your conclusion. Is that the logic there, buddy?
yes.
Is that the logic?
Yes.
Well, listen, if you can't answer,
You can't answer.
um,
You
no, hold on.
what?
Let me ask you this.
What just happened? Dude, you
No,
can't
I'm about
answer.
to ask you a
Yes,
question.
the reason the United States was in the West and the Western powers have had significant involvement in the Middle East, driven largely by the region's massive oil reserves, which became crucial for the
Hold on.
global energy security. You are gonna go suck Trump's dick for the exact same thing I bet you hate Bush for and you hate Obama for. You're sucking that dick, aren't you?
Well, you should just answer that as a notification, man. Listen, so let me ask you this: why is the sky blue? Answer that. Why? Do you know exactly why the sky is blue?
Refresh me on it. Why?
No, I'm asking. Do you know?
Uh, I've heard it before. I didn't remember it. Why?
So you don't know the reason?
Is this your gotcha? Clip it. Are
No,
you
I'm
recording?
asking.
Go ahead. I
No,
just said.
it's not
How
a
many times I
gotcha.
gotta tell
I'm
you? Six
asking you
times. No,
because
I don't.
you don't know. Okay.
It's because
Well,
the Rayleigh scattering, the Earth's
it's
atmosphere scatters
because
sunlight. The shorter blue wavelength scattering more longer than the longer red ones. There you go.
no, hold on. It's because God made it that way. Are you gonna agree with me now? Because you don't have a conclusion and I do. It's because
No,
God made the
I
sky
just read
blue.
you. No, it's because
See,
the
that's why
rays.
I'm not. That's why I'm not believing this bullshit that we're there just for oil, right? Because I'm not just gonna take your conclusion and your word for it just because I don't know
You
the
don't
reason
even
we
have a
went there.
hard stance on this, dude. You don't even know. You're for the sake of this argument, you're acting real dumb.
I'm acting dumb, but you can't prove your conclusion on why we went to the Middle East.
What do you mean I can't? I just read it to you, dude. Find me a place that says we
You
didn't
didn't.
just
You
do it for
didn't read
oil.
anything. You didn't read anything
Oh
about.
my god, dude. Yes, I did.
And what's your source?
Here, we got Brookings, NPR, Middle East research information. What do you want?
You're not doing AI overviews, are you?
I just gave you 3 cited sources. Yes,
I get
everybody
that, but
uses AI. Everybody.
you just looked that
When
up,
you
right? Did you
Google
just? Did,
things, it just gives you AI overview. Yeah, it's
oh, so
nice.
that's what you read, and that makes you an expert, huh?
Dude, I
I mean,
literally said this before I Googled it.
really, I could not expect anything more from a liberal, dude. Like, I could
You're
not.
not even you're not even having a conversation with me now. Now you're just grandstanding. You got caught looking silly.
I
Come
didn't.
on.
You just look stuff
Come
up
on,
on
buddy.
AR overviews, and you think you
Dude,
know
why are
stuff.
you crying right now? I just proved you so wrong with the oil thing. Why are you
But can
crying?
I ask you? Can I ask you this? Is Trump really that incompetent now after doing what he
Yes.
did?
Yes. Just because he hired a bunch of people that do whatever the fuck they want doesn't mean he's awesome.
He's not awesome. Who else would
No.
have the balls to do that?
Fucking dumb, dude.
Who else would have the balls to do
To
that?
have the balls to break the law, but Trump's definitely not a criminal and definitely was persecuted for criminal activity and lawfare.
How much is our GDP now? Can you answer that?
I don't fucking know, dude.
It's like 29 trillion, right? Do
Sweet,
you know how
man.
much it's gonna be increased after this?
Nice. Number go up. What does that do for you, man?
You do realize that a major reason we are a superpower is because of our GDP, right?
Dude, you're gonna sit here and grandstand on how Trump is out there fucking around with other countries while you 9 months ago were over here crying. No new wars. Kamala's gonna start World War III. He's in here doing whatever
You
the
call
fuck
that
he
a
wants,
war,
and
dude?
you're
You call that
glazing him.
if that's your definition of
I,
a war, man, you're totally lost. That was not a
I
war.
didn't
There was
say it
no
was a war. I
retaliation.
didn't say it was a war. He's out here doing shit in side quests, and he's talking about taking over Greenland. You're like, Trump's the
Taking
best.
over Greenland won't be a war, dude.
like
At the
like anybody who can control the world's most powerful military could easily just go tell him to do something like this. You think that it took a whole bunch of brain power from Trump in between him taking his shit and golfing?
I'm telling you that I'll tell you this, right? When it comes to Greenland, no matter what happens, right? Because we're gonna take that shit so quick. And I'm telling you, the other countries that are like, oh, they're so certain that they're gonna help defend Greenland, they're gonna scatter like
Dude,
flies.
I just watched World
As
War
soon as
II.
we take over that country, they're gonna
I
scatter,
just watched
dude.
World War II movie, and God, I love bringing this up because you guys really are fitting the shoe. The Nazis were so on board with Hitler's imperialism, and he just got carried away, and it was so intoxicating, and the nationalism was just roaring. People like you were out there, Nazi lovers, were out there going, "We love our country. Look how aggressive our leader is. Look
Um,
how undefeatable he is. Look how unpregnable our country is." It's the
That's
greatest
that's
race
that's real
ever.
nice, man. That's real
This
nice.
is what
Let me
you're
ask you.
doing. You can't take
All right.
you can't take a break and take a step back and say, "Hey, this is all the aggression Trump was promising us he wasn't going to do."
Did the Aussies drink water?
Okay. Yeah.
Do you drink water, dude? Is that? Oh, you're all of a sudden a Yahtzee, bro. See, you're
Mhm.
smiling because you know your logic is bullshit.
It's
It's
not
not the
bullshit.
same thing.
It's
It is
not. You guys,
bullshit.
this is an
You
ultra
drink water,
nationalist
they
movement,
drink
and
water.
that's
They
what you're
drunk
doing.
water,
You're an
so you're
ultra
a Yahtzee.
nationalist, imperialist. That's what you're doing.
Keep on saying buzzwords doesn't make it true, dude.
I don't know if you just tune out when I say big words, but it's not buzzwords.
They're buzzwords because you don't actually know what they mean. Define every single word you just called me.
Nationalist, somebody who has strong beliefs in the greatness of their country, so much so they're willing to do horrible things.
There's usually a racial element to it, right?
Nationalism,
I
race
get
and
that,
nation
but isn't it
nationalism,
all
different things.
isn't it usually a racial element to it?
No,
It's
doesn't have to
not.
be. Doesn't have to be. No.
Why not?
Because it's tribalism. It doesn't have to be all based on skin color, which is probably just the dumbest, most
No,
superficial version
it
of
is
it.
that way because most countries has a demographic that doesn't have the history behind it that the US does, right?
Okay.
The US had a history of immigration. When we talk about name a random country, dude. They always
Germany.
have a major Germany, right? They have a major demographic which are Germans which settle in that country and they have an ethnicity tied towards them.
Mm.
America doesn't have that. Therefore, it's impossible for any one of us to be an American
There's no one
nationalist.
that says
It
that
just doesn't
nationality
work,
and
dude.
ultra nationalism requires racial homogenous. No, that's not a thing. That's not a thing.
So
That's a straw man. That's you trying to find a way how you're not a Nazi or a fascist in the light of all of these things where you're just literally living a parallel of 1930s Germany. You're just,
I
we have a
think
police state.
I
We have
think
you
you're an
cheering on the police
anarchist.
state.
Sure, but you're an anarchist. You don't want the best for our country. You want our
That's not
country to be
true.
weaker.
Actually have values, and I vote for people based on their principles and their like plans for the economy. You guys just based it on like Trump loves us more. Like Trump is good. He means well. That's all you
So
know.
you don't think Kamala is a fraudulent piece of shit. You don't think that
No,
at all.
Trump's actually got cases
So
where he was found guilty of
how
fraud.
all right, let me ask you this. How come this hag all of a sudden was pro-Israel when she went
She wasn't.
for no, hold on. She was adamant. She was more so leaning towards being pro-Israel when she wanted to become the president. But
She
now
was being
she
pretty
released her
neutral.
book. She releases this fucking book, and now she's pro-Palestinian and she has empathy towards them. She's a fraudulent piece of shit hag, and
Dude,
she does everything
you're
to gain
you're so
power.
wrong.
Right?
She was the only person who didn't show up when Netanyahu visited Congress to speak.
Oh, she
She
didn't
slighted him.
show up.
Yeah.
She didn't want to face the man who's been doing these apparent horrible acts, right? She didn't want to show up and face him and tell him to his face that he's a piece of shit.
What?
Instead, she
No,
says it
she
in a fucking.
slighted him, dude.
Instead, she types it on a typewriter
Oh my
and says it in her
god.
fucking book
Trump
instead of saying
hides
it to
on
the man
social media
himself.
and cries all
This
day.
guy
Does the
is a.
same thing.
What do you mean?
Trump
Trump
talks
is
cash shit on social media all day at 4 a.m. because it bothers him, like a 16-year-old girl.
Trump is the one negotiating with this guy and talking to him. He's the one pressing Netanyahu, right? They have disagreements.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
he's pressing him real hard.
if you seriously think that Trump is the one getting pushed around by Netanyahu, I'm telling you, I think Kamala would have sucked off this guy at this point, right?
Uh huh.
She does whatever the
Yeah.
guy says.
Netanyahu,
If
the
she
guy who
was
was like
president,
hanging out with Trump
she
even when he wasn't president, the guy came to Mar-a-Lago multiple times when Trump is besties with him, dude.
Trump is friends with him, but he puts him in his place when he needs to, when
Sure,
there's disagreements.
sure.
Trump is a master
We've all
negotiator.
seen it, huh? We've seen it. We've seen him do everything he needs to the actual like real enemies, like Russia. Like when's the last time he said something mean to Russia, or was like mean? Like
Well,
right now,
actually, a
I can
reporter
literally.
asked him.
He is the best thing for Russia ever right now. If Greenland, if his like invasion of Greenland leads to the breaking up of NATO, Russia wins. Like this whole Russia thing is looking real right now, dude.
Well, it's kind of interesting. A reporter asked Donald Trump if, or a reporter mentioned that Zelensky said that if the U.S. are starting to kidnap dictators, they know what to do. And a reporter asked him if he's willing to do the same thing to Vladimir Putin, and Trump says he will, but he doesn't think he has to, right? So he's negotiating and supporting this guy because if the U.S. and Russia go to war, that will lead to a drastic world war. The two strongest
Yeah.
superpowers,
Yeah. So
the
like
two
I think
strongest
that the
superpowers
world united
going
as NATO
going
is
fisticuffs is never
better.
good.
I think the world being united as NATO is way better than
I'm telling
not
you, the
in that
casualties from
regard.
this war, the casualties from that war will be drastic, and
You're
you
just
want
beating
that.
around the bush.
You
Do you want to
sitting,
address
hold
what I
on,
just said?
hold on,
Us being in NATO is safer in regards to Russia than not, right? And
hold
Trump
on,
is about to get us
buddy,
kicked out of NATO.
buddy. You're sitting there in your gaming chair, egging Trump on to pressure fucking Vladimir Putin like you won a war. It's funny how you want to
I'm just saying
send 20-year-old men
he's going
to
around
go
punching
die in
babies,
fucking
and you're
war
glazing
while
him,
you
dude.
sit there with your $20 microphone and talk shit about Trump. You want children to
$20.
die for you
Get it
and
right,
whatever the fuck you want.
dude. You're
While
doing
Trump
that. You're
wants to
doing
keep
that.
the peace.
Dude,
You're
he's
doing that. You're
invading
sitting in your
Greenland
gaming
to
chair
keep the peace.
talking shit, egging on Trump, wanting to send 20-year-old, 18-year-old kids to.
Dude, you're the one who has Trump in office doing all this military stuff, and he's about to invade Greenland.
So you don't think it's good to keep the peace with Vladimir Putin?
And not the rest of
Negotiating
the
with the guy.
world?
What do you
And not
want
the
Trump
rest
to
of the
do?
world?
What do you want Trump to do with Vlad? Do you
I
want
don't
him?
know. Maybe not
What
piss
is he
off the
doing
entire
wrong with Putin
world.
right now?
Maybe
What
not
is
piss
he
off the
doing
entire
wrong with
world.
Putin right now?
Sydney, thank you for the $5 for the kick pull. What is Trump doing wrong right now? He's being an
With
aggressor. He's
Putin.
being a war hawk.
With Putin, what's he doing wrong with Putin?
He's been real nice to him. He gave him a deadline in
Oh,
June.
so you want him to be rude towards the guy? Maybe potentially.
Dude, he's been real nice to him, and he gave him a 2-week deadline in June, and he walked right past it. Hasn't said a word to him since.
So.
And then he's about to give Putin the biggest NATO breakup ever. Putin loves Trump. They might like do like a little smoke screen here and there and show you like a little fake fight or something, but I bet Putin and Trump are just best friends.
We should be allied with Russia. We should.
No, we should
Prevent
not.
war.
Putin is a brutal dictator. I know you like
Would
them.
you like a
but
war with
the
Russia?
rest of the world.
Will you serve yourself? Will you fight in the
I
front
think
line
Putin.
if we go to war? No, let me ask you this, fucker. Will you fight against
No,
Russia if they
no,
go to war? No, you
absolutely
won't.
not.
Of course you won't. But you
No.
want Trump to be enemies with the guy and pressure him so people can all
You
be sent out to
want to
war
be best
fucking
friends with
die.
a brutal
You want to
dictator?
sit in your chair and be comfortable, dude. That's what
Dude,
you want to do.
you want to go to
Whilst other
war with
people
all
are
these countries.
fighting
You're the one who
in the
wants to.
trenches dying, dude.
You're the
in a
one who wants to
foxhole.
be aggressive, not me.
Me?
Yeah.
I want
You're
to
the
be,
one
I'm
being
the one
aggressive.
saying we should be allies with Russia. While
No,
you
you're the one
want
being aggressive.
you
with...
want kids to die against Russia. You want
No,
us to
excuse
die.
me. You're the
You
one who's...
want children to die against Russia because you like sitting there in your little chair talking about politics all day, whilst other people are actually working out there
You're
getting
right.
the GDP up
I should have
and
dodged
having a
the
role in
draft
the
5
economy.
times. You're
You
right,
want
dude.
people to
I should
die.
go dodge the draft 5 times to be someone you look up to.
How long ago did he dodge the draft?
Does it make a difference?
How many years ago was this? Tell me.
Does it make a difference?
You want to bring up shit from decades ago,
Yeah.
so you can make fun of
The
a guy.
only way we can know...
How about someone looks into your life and
Dude, the only way we can know about somebody is the past. We can't look in the future. How do you do that? Thank you, Raven, for the galaxy. Oh, that was user. Gross.
see, even the people sees what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
And
he's
now,
just another MAGA supporter.
now you're being smug. You're like, oh, how can we look into anything but the past? You're being a smug asshole. You know.
So
that.
are you. That's all you do is you grandstand every 5
everyone-
seconds. We literally 5% of what we
Everyone
do
is
up here
flawed,
is
and
actually
especially you,
debate.
dude.
5% of what we do up here is debate, and the rest of it is you crying. You just cry and you grandstand and you cry about what I'm doing and what I'm saying and you reframe it. That's it. You don't have anything to actually debate.
You think I'm crying, but really
Yes.
I'm just looking at the hypocrisy of you and the things you're standing on.
You're
What do you
telling
work
me
at?
that
What is
I
your
should go
role in
join
the
a war or
economy?
join the army because you're a war hawk.
I'm the one who wanted to keep the peace, man. If I'm a
No,
war
you
hawk,
don't. You
why
want to
would I
invade
not-
Greenland.
Is that a war to you, invading that country? Is that a war, really? I don't
Yeah,
even
no,
think the
everybody's
country
going to be
has a
totally chill
military.
about that. You're right. Everybody's
Does
going to be
Greenland
chill.
have a
We're going to
military?
keep all of our friends.
Hold
Got
on.
it.
Does Greenland have a military?
Yeah, ours. There's like 10,000 troops there.
Oh, so we're gonna have a civil war in Greenland?
Dude, Are you stupid?
Use your fucking head, dude.
Oh my
When
god.
we take Greenland, it's gonna be way easier than taking over Venezuela.
Dude,
Like,
this kid's like fucking 12. I'm sick of him. He's insane. Hello?
Hey, goddamn, almost choked. um, so you still whining about what is going on?
I'm sitting here trying to talk someone whining to me into having an actual conversation. He was
You
just
know,
crying.
okay, let's reset the whole thing. Let's have a conversation. What do you want to talk about?
How do you feel about the way JD Vance framed Renee's killing and how politicians somehow gave her this radicalized view that made her a certain way when the video shows her being just a nice person? The
I'm
last
not
words
saying
she
she's a
said was,
bad
"Hey man, I'm
person.
not mad at you."
No. I'm not saying she's a bad person, but what she did was a very, very dumb decision.
What'd she do?
Are you kidding me?
No. What'd she do?
I guess she was just trying to buy groceries.
Hey, is ICE allowed to do
She
like
was literally
traffic stops
blocking the
now?
road and literally hit a federal agent.
She didn't hit him. We have the
And she
first person
got,
view. We have his camera
yeah,
footage.
we got the camera that
Yeah.
the actually agent have,
Yeah.
in which he actually turned the wheels, but he actually hit him.
She didn't hit him.
She hit him.
He dropped his phone.
She hit him.
She did not
You cannot do
hit
that.
him.
I dare you, literally, to go to
Do
any
you
sort
think
of
that
FBI investigation process and try to
okay,
bitch
Raven,
and complain about what they're
do you
doing.
think police officers in the midst of doing these types of traffic stops stand in front of vehicles? Do you think they're
He
trained to do
wasn't
that?
standing in front. He was moving to the side.
So he was on the
He was
side. So
literally
she wasn't running into him?
filming when the other lady said, "Yeah, you can get some lunch, something," and he was moving away. And that's when the other girl decided to just turn the pages, turn
Do
the
you
wheels
think
towards the
she
right,
was
and she actually hit him.
there's not an actual no. First of all, her wheel was cocked all the way away from him, and if she would have gassed, the first thing would have hit him was like the tail of her truck, which didn't happen. Her wheel was chucked all the
You
way
are
to the right.
looking at the different video. The evidence is there, and the man is hopefully gonna be let go as innocent because it
He's
was in
got
self-defense.
well, apparently he's got full immunity. We'll see if state charges go through, but what scares me is that the president and the vice president are taking this moment. They're not taking this moment to try to cool down the rhetoric and the tone. They want to point fingers, and this is just doing nothing but causing things to increase in polarization. And
Well,
you can just really tell this is the whole reason they're doing this. The whole military presence, they're just trying to start trouble so that he could do the Insurrection Act, I think.
you are smart enough to understand we're in a cold civil war. We
What?
literally cannot stand each other.
Yeah, I know because of
Here's the
them.
main thing. No. For me, as a former Democrat, I try to do my best to find a common ground, but the left went so bizarre. I don't recognize the party I used to be. And now the situation is going so freaking crazy that we recognize each other as Americans anymore. We're in a cold civil war, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
I think that we
We
have a
can't
fascist
stand
government
each other.
in place, and they are doing nothing
I
but trying to divide us constantly. Constantly.
They call us traitors since the moment we elected President Trump in 2016.
Who's
From
they?
the collusion thing, nothing was proven. Everything was just a narrative.
I'm not going to let you say that. That's not true.
No, what I'm
That's not
saying is
true.
you cannot call somebody a traitor and just switch the narrative to a different thing.
So
There was a
Trump doing that too
process.
very recently. You would condemn that too, right? He did that on True Social like last week, and he also
The
called for people to
man,
be
the man,
unalived.
he's actually the man is going to the offense. I'm not saying that
No, this
Trump
it's not
is
okay.
a
So
saint,
that's okay.
is vengeance.
I'm gonna mute you. I think of this just like any other leader, just like a parent in a household. When things happen like this, it's your responsibility to calm things down. And when you do the opposite, it's pretty damning. They want this environment. If you look at when Charlie Kirk was shot, all of the people on the right, all of the head politicians, the richest man in the world, Trump, Vance, all of them were ready to pounce on this and call this time for civil war, that we're the enemy within, all this other stuff. Everybody on the left, all of the governments, Gavin Newsom, everybody on the left in position of power said now is the time for peace. Now is the time to stop the violent rhetoric. That's our side. And then
Oh,
there's your side saying the opposite, praying for this.
oh, okay. So when the person was almost unalive, nobody was celebrating,
Who
right?
was who was celebrating?
Who's celebrating?
Yeah, can you tell me a politician who was celebrating?
Man, I can tell you're a smart person, so you cannot play this game with
No,
this.
I'm not going to play
But
this
you
fucking
have to
game with you,
understand
dude.
one thing.
No, no, no,
And
no,
what
no.
I'm saying is this.
What you're going to tell me next is a politician that celebrated the assassination attempt, because that's what we're looking for from the top down, okay? The leaders of our party versus the leaders of yours. You're going to show me a politician who distastefully called for violence. Go ahead.
Wow. I'm actually surprised the lack of self awareness of what your politicians did
Hey, go
all
give me
these
the slam
years
dunk then.
towards.
Go grab it.
No,
Go
it
grab the
was quite
name.
funny. But here's the thing: we're not civil war, but it's in a cold way. Because literally,
Are
I
you
don't
just
want
jumping past that
anything to do
question?
with you.
The thing that I
I
just
don't
asked you
want
for? Are you
anything
just
to
jumping
do
right
with you
past that?
people. I truly despise you folks from
Are you
head
so you
to
don't have a
toe.
politician that does this?
I despise you folks from head to toe.
So you're going to sit here and
That's
say
my
hateful
message.
things? You're going to sit here and say hateful things in response for me to asking you for evidence that we're the hateful party. I guess irony's not dead. We love to see it.
Yo,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, what do you like about
Definitely.
Trump?
Well, I like that he's the man and that he's awesome, and I love him a lot, and I think he's a funny guy. But also, I just want to say I don't agree with the Democratic Party because you guys fought for slavery in the Civil War, and now you guys want to turn it around. So the Nazis, right? If
Brent,
you
Brent,
want,
Brent, Brent, Brent,
you
Brent,
wanted
Brent.
to bring up. Okay, yeah, go ahead. I'll let you interrupt me. You can go ahead.
Okay. In back in the day, there's going to
Yep.
be two positions. The party that
In the
wanted things
opposition.
to stay the same, and
Right.
there was a party who wanted things to move forward. That would be the liberal party, right? Like people who want to progress,
I
the
mean,
progressive party.
I don't agree, but
You don't agree?
I
You
don't
think
agree that
the Progressive
liberals
Party-
want, I think liberals want to move backwards because they don't even know what a gender is. You can't even tell me what a woman is, probably. And then on top of that, you guys fought for slavery in the Civil War. And then
Brent,
on top of that, you
you're
killed the guy.
gish galloping.
You killed Charlie Kirk. Anybody who doesn't agree with you, and then you killed the guy who freed the slaves. Okay, and then then you guys want to.
Your
open up the
history's
border.
wrong. Your history's wrong, Brent.
Oh, wow, yeah. Wow, yeah. All history is wrong, chat. All history is wrong.
wrong.
And then you guys want to open the borders and act like it's a free, open border, and like that nothing's gonna go wrong.
Nobody's
no
doing that
criminals
either.
are gonna come over here and kill us.
Can I ask
Like,
you?
yeah, okay, go ahead. Go ahead and justify
Okay.
your
Can you show
political
me?
party.
Can you show me? Tell me, what flag is that?
That's the Confederacy flag.
Yeah, were those the people fighting for or against slavery?
Those were the people from the South, heavily the Democratic Party fighting to keep.
And whose
slavery.
flag is this right here?
What is that? The North, or is that still
No,
the
no, no.
Confederacy?
That's a Trump flag. That's a
Okay.
Trump flag. And
Somebody
that's
from the
the
South-
only that's the
Somebody
only
from the South.
that's the
that-
only rally you'll see that flag at.
Okay, so somebody from the South is a Trump supporter. That doesn't
all,
change the fact that all doesn't change the fact that all Democrats fought for slavery. So go ahead.
You're using the wrong party name too. It's Dixiecrats. Dixiecrats. Did you
Okay,
know
you
about
guys
the party
invented-
switch?
The Ku Klux Klan was invented by the Democrats. Explain that. Go
Okay,
ahead and debunk that.
I will. All right. So
Okay, thank you.
what were their beliefs? They were Christian conservatives who used the Bible to justify all of these beliefs. Who's doing those things today, regardless of name? What's the type of thinking? Who's doing all that? Who's doing
I
the
don't know,
conservative and Christian stuff?
I haven't heard Trump mention Christian stuff.
He sells Bibles, dude. He has a fucking federal task force that prevents Christian bias.
Okay. And what else?
Okay.
So he sells
the
Bibles.
truth is,
so
the truth
both
is,
sides
the
can believe in God.
The conservative Christian people are the ones who did slavery in the South. The liberal party, the president who loved Karl Marx, who was best friends, who wrote love letters to Karl Marx, freed the slaves. He freed the slaves. That kind of thinking was against slavery. My kind of thinking, liberal, progressive
okay.
thinking, your type of thinking. Let's go back. Let's stay the same. Conservatism. Keep things the same. You guys were trying to keep the slaves, and we had to pull them out of your fucking hands.
No.
Yes.
Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. Try again.
Have you heard of the party switch?
Party switch. How people say that their values were aligned differently back in the day,
No, that's not how that happened. No.
and so Democrats became more of a Republican, or vice versa.
So, if you look at a map of the United States, every single state in the South was Democrat, right? Every single one of them wanted slaves. Then all of a sudden, one year in the 1960s, all of those states all turned red. None of the people moved. They're all the same people. My grandpa's grandpa was a slave owner. He was a Dixiecrat or a Democrat, whatever, Dixiecrat.
Right.
He loved that. He and all of his children were conservative until me. All of them. They're all the people in the South were your party.
So should
your
you be
party.
paying reparations for
Yes.
for someone?
Yes.
Do you think so?
Yes.
Okay, nice. All right. So that makes sense.
Yeah. So don't ever say that in front of 800 people ever again. That the Democrats started slavery and the KKK. It was the conservative party.
Well,
The names changed.
I've looked into it. I've looked it up, and I've seen that it is. I've even asked your favorite tool, AI. I've asked AI who started it, and it
Let's do
said
it.
Democrats.
All right. Let's do it right now.
Okay, yeah. Just say
If
which
you wanna
political
trust-
party.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and ask which political party
Okay.
has started
Ready?
the KKK.
The KKK, and were they conservative or liberal? All right. I'm not
Or
worried about
Democrat.
names. I'm not worried about names. I'm worried about belief systems, like the one you have and the one I have. I don't care about the name.
By Southern Democrats, right there.
And what were their beliefs? Pro-white supremacy, pro-segregation, anti-federal government intervention. That aligns with conservatism of the time, preserving existing social hierarchies. You are a conservative. You would have been the KKK. You would have been in that party back then. With your
Nope.
thinking, loving Jesus, all that shit, you would have been
I
part
never
of
said
that.
I love Jesus. Never said I love
Your
Jesus.
party
I never
loves
said
Jesus.
what?
Your party wants Jesus in the government. They want to put Bibles in
I mean,
schools.
They prefer the values over not having any values. Then yeah. That's
You
and
so
plus,
like the values of
I'm
slavery.
not actually. I'm an independent. I'm not a Republican, but I align with Republicans more than I align with not knowing my gender, wanting to kill people, against free speech, slavery, all
Okay,
that. But
again, your party, your ideology started slavery. Your ideology is writing laws, unironically.
okay, I
like
guess we'll agree to disagree.
You
You're
can't agree to
lucky-
disagree. You can't agree to
I
disagree.
will agree to disagree because it says you looked it up yourself and it said Southern Democrats. So you kind of
I just really hope you
doo-dooed
don't
on your
ever
own
say this
argument.
again and embarrass yourself. Just don't do that, all right?
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, you want to call us Nazis, but you're the guy, you guys are the ones against free speech. What did Biden do? Again, he
What?
all the against free
Okay,
speech and shit.
so right
Anybody
wing
who
versus
speaks
left
up against
wing. Any right wing versus left wing. Who
okay,
commits more murders in the name of their ideology
who commits
in the
more
United
murders?
States? Yeah, who does more domestic terrorism?
Go ahead and look it up. I don't know every fact on the top of my head.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But
I'll help you
yeah,
out.
I would say
I'll
the minority. I mean,
here's a chart I like to look at all the time. You see all these black dots? That's all the left wing violence. You see all this red? That's the right wing violence. So like the left, who wants to like save animals and like feed and house everybody, it's not really that harmful of an ideology. But on the right, where you like your actual Nazis are, where your white supremacists are, the Proud Boys, the Blue
right
Boys.
at the full extreme, and we can
Yeah,
go
yeah, yeah,
extreme
yeah.
in any direction.
Yeah, I know. And our extreme wants to feed and house everybody. Your extreme, like, literally just wants people unalived. So you can just
No,
see
that's
how
not
that makes
true.
sense
Why,
here.
Why are you killing Charlie Kirk, Abraham Lincoln, stuff like that? You still can't. You
Okay.
still can't.
Charlie Kirk.
That's still the Democratic Party.
Again,
That's still
Charlie
the name
Kirk.
you guys carry.
Charlie Kirk is like a
So
dot,
if
right?
you want to inherit that name of murder and bloodshed,
Charlie Kirk is
and
just
stuff,
one dot, right?
and try to say that you guys aren't better in any way. You still have a lot blood on your
You guys
hands.
do a lot more, right? Like you, just because our people that we got killed weren't like famous YouTubers doesn't mean they didn't die. Like they died. So a few months ago in Minnesota, one of y'all ran up to the door of Melissa Hortman and her husband and killed them with a pew pew, shot them in the face because they were lawmakers that were pro-choice. That's what y'all do, and
Right.
Trump didn't even care about mentioning this on TV because it really hurts the image of the right. He wants to only point out violence on the left.
Well, that's what the left has been doing forever.
Really?
Are you kidding me?
Well, I'm just pointing
Yeah.
out the actual numbers. So, and we don't even have to play that game anymore. Y'all do way more. It's 70% is what y'all do, and we do about 20.
Right. I mean, you can try to say that. I'm sure there's more stats from any source you can pull that say
Hey,
the opposition.
just go ahead and find me
you know,
one real
that's-
quick, Brent. I'll let you slide out of the app. Just go ahead and find me some good stats real quick. I've never seen any.
I could, or I mean, that's gonna take some time. I would rather just, rather you just either
I've
me
never
kick
had
me or try to
anybody
debunk me.
I've never had
I just-
anybody bring me
Thank
any
you.
alternative stats ever. Ever.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I mean, if I were to go sit on my computer and go poke around for a while, I'm sure I'd find it. But
Well, be sure to do that and come back and slam dunk on me so I don't have to show this to y'all and embarrass you anymore.
I mean, I'm not embarrassed. I mean, I appreciate you inviting me up here. I mean, it's important that we be able to talk about these things, and bring these things to our attention. I enjoy a good conversation. So I appreciate.
All right, here's another thing I want to press you on.
Okay.
You're talking about genders, all this stuff. Would you say that gender is a social construct?
Gender scientifically is not a social construct.
What
No.
does that mean?
That means if I have a male cat and a female cat, right?
Mhm.
I'm not gonna tell one cat that it's a female and then them both not mate. No, eventually they're gonna mate.
I think you're mixing up. What's the difference between sex and gender?
Facts don't care about your feelings.
I know. What's the difference between sex and gender?
I would say there's no difference.
Yikes! All right, facts don't care about your feelings.
They don't.
This is a dog, right? This is my dog. Her name is Pickles.
I mean,
is
yeah,
this-
I see a dog. I
Yeah.
mean, you might say it's something else.
It's a female. That's the sex of the dog. But what's her gender? Is that a woman? Do we call those women?
It's a female.
Oh, so they're not the same. You can't call them women. That's the gender. That's a social
So
construct.
if I go and say I want to get pregnant, I'm gonna go get pregnant.
No, that's not gender. That has nothing to do with gender.
So sex and gender aren't even close.
They're
to
not
the
the
same
same.
thing.
They have similar qualities.
Okay. Well, then
They have
that's where
overlap.
we'll agree to disagree.
You
and
can't
that's
agree.
okay.
Listen, facts don't care about your feelings. All right.
Exactly. Facts don't care about your feelings. Just because I say I'm a female doesn't make me a female.
No, exactly. That's a sex. So
Exactly.
Hey,
I mean, if you want
what's
to say
the
that's different, that's fine.
difference
That's like saying
between
you know,
sex
that's like saying a car isn't a sedan.
and gender. Exactly. Well, You're getting close, bro. You're getting close.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're talking
Sex
about.
refers to biological traits. Gender refers to social and psychological
That's like
identity.
saying spring water and distilled water are vastly different.
I'm just trying to help you. I'm just trying to help you, like, get the facts right. All right, so that your feelings aren't hurt.
Help me get this left-wing ideology in my head.
This isn't left wing. This is just science. This is us. This is just
I
the
mean,
way things are.
I mean, just like your hat. I mean, Mama tried, right, with you. Good luck, buddy.
I think that's a runner. We consider that a run. Chat, tap the screen if you enjoy these debates. Give me a follow. Also, there's a Cash App and Venmo in the bio. If you want to kick somebody, it's $40. Or if you want to buy me coffee, that would be awesome too. We're gonna go to the next guest chat. Don't forget to tap the screen. We're almost at 50K. Chat. Also, if you're friendly, please hop out of the box. Hello.
Oh, is it working?
Yeah. Are you a
Hi.
Trump supporter?
No, I just wanted to quickly point out to Brent specifically that there is lots of liberals who are Christian and have great moral compasses that don't share the same conservative beliefs.
Sure. And I would also argue there's also atheists that are really good people like me.
Oh, of course. I just know that typically the Conservative Party likes to demonize liberals, like they don't have their own moral compasses and their own forms of critical thinking. But yeah, I do have kids. I just wanted to point that out as a Canadian because our history is a lot more to do with the opposing, like the Confederacy and like the Underground Railroad stuff. Like I live in the city where it came directly through my town. So like we have a lot more education, I feel like, on those topics, and it's just so irritating to hear people spew things that they don't know anything about.
Yeah.
But you're doing a great thing. Have a great day. I have to go take care of my kids now. Thanks so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Yep, bye-bye.
All right, chat. Ted Cruz ate my son. Hello?
Hey, what's up, man? Nice to meet you.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Of course.
All right. What do you like about Trump?
I'd like to debate some monetary policy with you. You up for that?
Sure. What do you want to talk about?
So what's good monetary policy to you?
What's good monetary policy to me? I like...
Yeah, let's get our definition straight before we start getting into...
I don't know. I generally like a lot of what Democrats do with subsidies. I like the things they do with social welfare safety nets. I think that helps our economy. I think that a lot of the conservative tax breaks are really harmful to society as a whole and the longevity of our economy, and even cause, I would say, inflation.
So I'll try and keep it, I know monetary policy can be a tough topic and can get nuanced, but I'll just say three things, right? That good monetary policy keeps prices steady, 1. 2, it makes money trustworthy, and 3, it rewards work and saving. And bad monetary policy makes prices jump, it rewards borrowing too much, and it shrinks the value of your paycheck. So really what the bottom line is here is that inflation isn't an accident, it's a result.
Sure.
Would you agree with that?
Sure. Well, sometimes.
Okay. Can you elaborate on when?
Like I think
it might be good when.
Like inflation from the pandemic, I would say a lot of it, more the majority of it, was like environmental, and some of it was a result.
Are you talking about like it
spending.
being COVID, like environmental COVID, or environmental
supply chain shortages and a little bit of the spending caused. I think that what they said was like 2% of the inflation.
So we'll come back to post-pandemic, like growth. All right, we'll come back to that. But when cheap money can hide a problem, and that's what happened really under the Biden administration, right? Where we had very low interest rates. It makes borrowing very easy. It pushes prices up.
Wait,
and it makes growth look
interest
better
rates
than it really is.
were high in COVID.
So let's go back to right. So we're in the first year of Trump's second term, but there's a huge lag, and we're not really going to be able to look at all the data of monetary policy effects until probably until after Trump is gone or to the second or third year. But let's focus on Trump's first year and then Biden's or Trump's first term and then Biden's term. Is that fair enough?
Sure. So, as far as I know, Trump did literally almost nothing besides tax breaks, which we do anyways every 8 years, and he slid most of those tax breaks to the top 1%. And I think what Brookings said is we got like a 0.4% growth in GDP from it. While we did get more growth in GDP, what we can attribute to that was about 0.4%. And at the cost of spending trillions, about $180 billion a year for the next 10 years, and I guess forever now. And
so I'm happy. Go ahead.
Just creating a huge deficit again, as Republicans always do.
So I'm happy to go over the numbers if we want to pause the debate and just kind of talk numbers here, right? So real GDP growth over the 2017 to 2020 was 2.3, pre-COVID 2.3%. During Joe Biden, it was 2.6 to 3%, right? Pretty much the same. Biden's a little bit better. I'll give that to him.
Yeah,
okay?
in a pandemic.
What this metric actually means in plain English is this is how fast the economy grew after inflation. Actual added value, not just higher prices. Okay. So the next number that I want to go over is that economic context that we were talking about. Normal expansion versus post-crisis rebound. So growth after a collapse is easier than growth in a stable economy. Do you know why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Boom,
so
boom bust cycles.
all right. And so then here's the biggest one, right? This is where we win this argument, and I don't know how you would defend it. It's in inflation. Donald Trump, 2017 to 2020, 1.9%. Post-crisis rebound, 5% inflation. This is how much prices rose for everyday goods like food, gas.
So you're going to have to tell me what Biden did to cause that.
Okay, so
and what Trump
we'll
did to stop that, because I can actually just point to things that happened during Trump's term, right? Like during his term, the Fed printed 5 trillion M2 or M2. And of course, after a few years, that inflation realizes, and we saw that compound with COVID.
Yeah. Okay. And that statistic, I don't have that statistic in front of me. I've got a number of other ones in front of me that I'm prepared to.
I know this off the top of my head. So Trump at the beginning
and I'll concede that. I'll concede that to you. Yeah.
Trump at the beginning of his administration, 2017, there was 13 trillion M2, and then it went to 19 trillion. And Joe Biden, during his term, it went from 19.6 trillion to 21 trillion. So he only, during his term, it was only a couple trillion printed. And Joe Biden also spent about half of what Trump spent in his administration.
Okay, but so printing money is a tool. It's not the all-encompassing. It's not the holy grail, right? Monetary policy takes into account all these different metrics, right? And the decisions that are made that lead to these metrics. And one, you saying printing money, right, is the reason why, the sole reason why this happened. And I disagree with that. But we can say, okay, what does the government do with that money, right? They spend it, okay? And when the federal spending increase, which is a metric that we use here, Donald Trump from 2017 to 2020, it went up 25%. Under Joe Biden, that went up 40%. And so this is how much more did the government spend compared to before, right?
But
and so
are you looking at approved spending, or are you looking at spending that was approved during Trump's term as well?
So I'm looking over year from 2017 to 2020.
So you're lumping both of them together?
No, I'm saying that the administration prior to Trump, okay, Trump spent 25% more. There was a 25% increase in federal spending under Trump's 4 years in office, and then Joe Biden's 4 years in office, it went up another 40%.
I'm going to help you out, all right? There's a great website. It's called the fuck something responsible federal CRFB CRFB Trump,
Basically,
that
what I'm saying here is that Trump has done more with less,
mm-mm.
with growth per dollar, inflation, with
We've
real
lost
wages,
10%
with
of our
monetary and
we've lost 10% of our dollar over the last year, and especially with Trump's insanity on the
see
political stage, I think we're going to see more. But this is what Trump spent,
the,
and this is what he approved in spending. If you look at what was spent as the government during those time periods, that's not a good way to do it because you're looking at both presidents and what was
you're
approved
looking at a
10 years
single
before.
year. You're looking at a single year right now.
No, this is
Okay,
4 years.
where
This
what are
is
you looking at?
This is net 10-year approved during their administration. So Trump's first administration, he approved $8.4 trillion with a pin on his desk.
Net 10 years.
And Biden,
We're looking at debt.
yeah, I know
We're
this
looking
is
at
debt
debt.
approved. So if you want to look at presidents and Democrats and how they behave and approve and spend money, this is what we need to look at. Not just like Donald Trump's spending during President Biden's administration. Like that's a bad way to look at it.
No, okay. These are metrics that banks use and investors use and financiers use, and certainly yours is one too. I can see that.
No.
But
When we talk about
I'm
politics,
going to go ahead and give you. I'm trying to give you
They
several
wouldn't use the
ones.
metrics.
I'm not
They
going
would
to just
talk about
focus in on
with
one.
politics.
I'm not going to focus in on just one metric and say, oh, Biden has a better metric right here, so therefore he wins. It's not that simple, right? You'd have to agree with that.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to
There's
unmuddy that
debt
water.
added as well.
I'm trying
Like
to
you're
unmuddy that
saying
water
debt
for you.
added.
Yeah. So this is another good metric I like to show people. This is how much
What-
Trump spent, and this is how much he brought in with tariffs. And then this
All
is
right,
what
so what
Biden
about
spent
let's take
and what he brought
let's
in
take
with.
three let's take three metrics that kind of deal with this topic right here, right? We got federal spending increase, we've got deficit, and then we've got debt added. Okay, so 25% for Donald Trump, and this is including with COVID, and that number is 40% with Biden.
That's
the
not
increase.
what are you using? You're just pulling the debt added from those state ranges?
I'm using the dollar amount. What was the difference in the dollar amount
Yeah, that's a bad way to do it.
in,
Don't do that.
in increase?
Yeah, you
Okay,
can't
well,
do
you
that.
can think that that's fine, but then there's deficit as well. So we had a $665 billion deficit pre-COVID during the 2017 and
Yeah, I'm
2020.
telling you,
We
again,
had a $1.6 trillion deficit under Joe Biden. Okay. And then we had the debt added, which was about the same. They got the same debt added, which
all
is
right,
about
and that's why
$7.8
it's not fair
trillion.
to look at it this way. You're just blanket.
So,
No, I'm stopping you.
so
You're
there was
not looking
more.
at this accurately.
What this means. Well, you let me finish. What this means is that there was more growth per dollar under Trump. There was less. There was about similar debt,
So
but there was different
he's-
inflation.
he spent money
this is a
that
very
Joe
key
Biden
point. There
had to
was the
spend
si-
during his years, and you're looking at
there-
it the wrong way. I think your financial literacy is just a tad below what it needs to be to understand this.
Okay, that's fine for you to think again, right? You're free to have your opinion, but do you think that is it a lie to say that there was more inflation under Biden than there was under Trump, even
Mhm.
though we had about the same amount of debt added?
That would be removing all of the context of COVID. That's not fair. It's like benchmarking Biden's economy during a global crisis is wild.
Okay, so Trump, when Trump produced strong outcomes under tighter conditions, Biden produced similar outcomes under historic stimulus and paid for it with inflation. That's the difference here.
He only
between
added about 2%.
efficiency and expansion.
Okay, so Biden, the only thing you can point to Biden at, like this is what we actually look at. When you're talking politics and not thinking like a banker, you actually have to look at what party actually approved and wants these things. And like if Trump spent 8.4 trillion and 6 trillion of that was paid for during Biden while he was in office, that's not that great. That's not that great a way to look at it because you're just simply looking at the whole like bottom number, and that's not good. So you have to look at what they brought in over the next 10 years. That's the best way to look at it. And if you look at that, Biden spent half as much as Trump and brought in like 3 times more, and added 15 million jobs And I'm going to show you a few more metrics
Let's
just to kind of slam dunk on this, because this is real
go
bad
ahead.
for you.
Go ahead.
This
Go ahead,
is,
but then let me respond.
yeah. So when we talk about the debt, Republicans, all the red ones, always fuck up the deficit. Always really bad. Joe Biden, as soon as he came in, reduced the deficit.
Can I pause you real quick? Is
Yeah.
debt necessarily a bad thing?
When it gets to a certain point, compared to our GDP, yes.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, growth matters. Good. I like that you said that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so
Or are you done?
Republicans notoriously, like if you think about the way they run and what they run on, their policies literally only cut taxes only. So they always deficit spend. They are too pussy. They have trained their audience to hate taxes. It's a slight on them. So they will never ever increase taxes unless they trick you like Trump did and tell you that other countries pay this new tax he introduced. So that's why you guys always spend more and Democrats always have to clean up, and we always add more jobs at a ratio of 50 to 1. So we, over the last, I don't even know how many years, we literally always add way more jobs to it.
All right. So thank you. Right. So let's reframe this and reset a little bit. So the big picture is that money policy should be judged by one thing. Does it keep prices stable while the economy grows? Right? And
No.
if prices rise too fast, people fall behind.
That's a
If
weird
the economy looks
That's a weird metric to just lean on, but I would say that 8 out of the last
I
9
didn't even say a metric.
recessions, the 8
And
out of the
I
last 9
let you get-
recessions were under Republican rule. So under even that same logic, we would win that.
So, all right. Will you let me finish this point? So if prices rise too fast, people will fall behind, even if the economy looks good on paper. So what is good monetary policy? It keeps prices steady. It makes money trustworthy. It rewards savings. And bad monetary policy does the other. It makes prices jump. It rewards too much borrowing, and it shrinks the value of your paycheck. Inflation, right? Again, is not an accident. It's a result.
I get that.
And
So what caused
very low interest rates make borrowing easy. It pushes up prices, and it makes growth look better than it really is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know, but we raised interest rates when inflation happened to combat inflation.
Go ahead and look up interest rates during those 4 years under Trump and those 4 years under Biden. Let's pull them up for the audience.
Trump's interest rates were lower and Biden's were higher.
Let's pull them up so that everybody can see it.
Trump versus Biden. And by the way, interest rates are not a policy set by the president.
It's a single metric, and in and of itself, it's not an indicative of any holistic picture. That's why you got to kind of
look. It's causation correlation if you think about it at all, because the president doesn't set this rate.
Yeah, and the Fed sets the rate, and this has been in the news a lot lately, right? And looks like we're about to have. Is money cheap right now, or is it expensive right now?
It's lost 10% value. I don't know what you mean by cheap. Are you just talking about
Are interest rates high, or are they low right now?
They're higher than this. Like it's 1.4 here. I think they're 3 point something, right?
Was there an interest rate hike in that last year or in that last quarter of Biden's?
No, it was reduced.
Yes, there was.
Wait,
let's
it
pull
was
up the numbers.
reduced. They pulled
Let's
it down.
Pull up the numbers. Let's pull the data up.
They pulled it up by 0.25.
Instead of arguing about it, let's just pull the data up.
Did they reduce interest rates?
Just say
in
do side by side.
October.
Provide year over year.
Yes, they reduced it by 0.25, like I just said.
Can you put it on the screen so that everybody can see?
Yeah.
Can you pull it up? Because it's like a
AI overview?
Can you
I don't
raise
know
it
if it's
up on-
hallucinating here. Yeah. Fed cuts interest rate by a quarter. This is like a headline. There you
All
go.
right, so let me go ahead and pull up the information.
While you're doing that, I want to tell you how you're still doing causation correlation. I feel like you're doing baseball stats
Go ahead.
on
Go ahead.
blocks of administrative years, not on actual policy or actual decisions or like breaking it out to see the actual like statistics. I think you're just like without any analytics, without any comprehensive view of this.
I'm pulling up the analytics right now.
You're just
So
pulling up.
2017, it was 0.75% to about 1.5%. It gradually hiked during that year. Okay,
That which is
2018,
inflationary, right?
Without getting into so I'm just going to purely look at the numbers and read them out. Okay, will you let me do that? So 2017, it was about 0.75 to 1.5. 2018, 1.5 to 2.5. 2019, 1.5 to 2.25. And then in 2020, it went down to 0%. Okay, this is where COVID started, and down 0.25%. 2001, 0.0 to 0.25. 2022, 0% to, and then here's where it
What
jumped,
interest rates are you looking at?
4.5%.
Is this federal interest rates?
This is the Federal Reserve interest rates from 2017
Oh,
to
reserve
2025.
interest rates. Oh, okay. For the money. Okay. All right.
So 2022 is where
are
we
you
had the
saying
hike,
that
the rapid increase to fight
Democrats decided
inflation.
to do that, or what are you saying?
Oh, well, I haven't gotten there yet, but that's exactly what happened, right? Because in 2022, we jumped rapidly to fight inflation. And then in 2023, we jumped again, 4.5 to 5.5. 2024, we had 4.25 to 5. And then in 2025, 3.5 to 4.25. So was it lower interest rates as the earlier in this timeline, and then they got higher, right?
Yes, that's what happens. So when inflation happens, they turn up the interest rates to combat inflation. It has nothing to do with the party of the Democrats or the Republicans. It has to do with the world experiencing inflation. And this is a map of 2024 for your reference. And we had the best rebound from inflation out of the whole world. We were the envy of the world thanks to Biden. He did just the right things. He went through a recession already with Obama in 2008, remember? And he sent out checks, and they got a lot of monetary information back from their economists and said, hey, the economist said, hey, if you injected just a little bit more stimulus, you would have actually seen X amount more growth. And that's what Joe Biden brought to the table back when he came back in 2021. And this is other countries. They're still experiencing 20%, 15, 30% interest, inflation. And the reason we had inflation is not because oopsie daisy, Joe Biden was in office and he cranked up interest rates or whatever. It was because people were dying and countries were shut down and no one was flying anywhere and no one was driving. And that's what caused huge inflation, because things would cost more because it would be more scarce. If you wanted coffee, there's dead people working the fields for those coffee beans. So that's what caused inflation. For you to just blindly be like, gee, I don't even know. Biden was there and inflation happened. That's not what happened.
Okay. So I'm not talking about inflation rising. I'm talking about interest rates rising. And I want to come back to our big picture.
They're connected.
Our definition, right? So policy should be judged on, does it keep prices stable while the economy grows?
Okay, so tell me a policy that was introduced that you can say it was too much, this is why we shouldn't do it, yada, yada, yada. Go ahead.
Look, so when we're looking at people and how they spend and what they can afford to spend, right? And they're purchasing power. So if I'll turn the question back on you on that, right? About inflation. So why is raising prices quietly better than raising than taxes? Or let me reframe that here. So is why did places with tighter policies, tighter economic policies recover a little bit faster than places that had looser economic policies, monetary policies?
It's actually just a matter of businesses being open so that they could actually generate revenue. I don't think that's a great way to look at the bounce back. My favorite way to look at it is the recovery with inflation. So like if businesses in my head, if businesses shut down and they were responsible and then they opened back up when the time was right and they weren't dead and stuff, I feel like it caused less inflation. We have all of the blue states that were more focused on shutdowns. They actually had a faster rebound with inflation. And again, I know you want to keep going talking about like interest rates, but interest rates are literally connected to inflation. So when inflation's up, interest rates go up.
Then let's talk about inflation. So did Trump era growth come with low inflation?
It did, yeah. And I don't think
Biden and those gains stuck, right? And Biden era growth came with huge inflation,
but not because of Biden.
Those gains that you're talking about evaporated. correct?
So, but not because of Biden. So, like, if Biden were to come in again and
But-
do that,
but-
it would be
but-
like really good.
But just that simple fact that is true, that Biden era growth, that he did create growth, but it came with such high inflation that those gains became evaporated.
You would
And
have
Trump
to. You would have
operated
to.
with tighter money, right? With tighter money and lower spending. So we have a higher
He
efficiency.
spent more.
there.
He spent twice as much.
No. So
Trump spent twice as much.
on what metric specifically?
Approved
Federal
debt,
spending,
10-year debt,
federal spending
10-year
increases. He spent twice as much as who?
as Biden.
Is in
Single
the
term,
4
yes.
years prior to him.
Yes, Trump is responsible for about $15
and where did
trillion
you find that
of our
statistic?
debt. From the page I just showed you.
So you're talking. So now we're talking about debt. We're not talking about spending. I think we're confusing our metrics here.
How is spending not debt?
Debt is a liability. If we have cash, if something is paid for in cash, is that a debt?
I'm talking about the number our federal government at the balance sheet, the negative number. That I'm just talking about that. If Trump makes that
So you're
grow,
So you're talking about deficit.
he did that. Well, no, deficit is recurring debt.
So again, let's get our numbers straight and make sure we're on the same page. Let's have clarity on this. So show me what you're talking about.
So the president in charge, all things aside, like the government's going to run, right? The military's
I don't-
900.
but
This is my the military, $900 billion a year. I mean, give or take. If Trump makes that go up, it's on this sheet. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the things Trump made decisions about and approved to add to our debt over the next 10 years. Whether Joe Biden, when he
is
was
this
in
a
office,
trust me? Are we doing a trust me, bro?
no, this is I'm just teaching you how to read this information. This is what
So
Trump spent.
we already looked at that, Greg. Can we look at
Yeah.
like an over encompass? Show me you just mentioned a few statistics. You said deficit, you said debt, and you said spending. So where did you get that information? And that's not what I'm looking at.
I know. I'm going to teach you why you're looking at
trust me,
why
bro.
it's wrong.
So trust me, bro.
No, all right. Here's 2017. Here's 2024. Okay. Here's Trump. Here's Biden. Biden comes in 2020. All right. When Trump wrote the big beautiful bill, does it all get paid for right here?
I can't even see. The comments are going over your.
Does the big
You're
beautiful
drawing
bill
there.
all get paid for in 2017 when it's passed?
I don't even know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a bar that shows.
This is the timeline.
2017.
Pretend this is a timeline. Okay? This is a timeline. Here's Trump. Here's Biden. Here's a line, a continuum of time. 2017, 2024.
Okay.
Here's
Following.
2017. Big beautiful bill is passed. Or I'm sorry, the TCJA. The TCJA is passed. What's that all paid for in the year of 2017? When you're looking at the budget and the numbers you're pulling out right now, was that all in 2017?
I don't have the specifics on when
the answer is no.
the checks were written.
The answer is
I
no.
don't- And do you?
No, I do know. Yes, it's 10-year
Okay,
spending.
go
It's a 10-year tax plan. Right? So when Trump wrote the TCJA, that's a giant, I think it's like $3 trillion he spent over the next 10 years. Joe Biden's paying for some of that here. So when you're dipping into and you're doing a cross section of the budget, you're going, look how much fucking Biden spent on this year. But some of that's Trump, along with all of the other shit he paid for. All of it. So you can't just simply look at the debt when it grows year to year. You have to look at the president spent.
I'm not just looking at debt. I've listed a number of different metrics,
I know,
right?
you just looked at date ranges, though.
The bottom line is that Trump produced growth without blowing prices out, and Biden produced growth as well, like a similar growth. But he spent way much more to do it, and prices surged.
No, he spent half. Biden spent half, 4.3 trillion. Trump spent 8.4.
Okay, so again, the federal spending increase, 25%, under Trump and 40% under Biden.
Right, under
And
Biden, while he's paying for Trump's debt. Yes.
and so did Trump pay for any of Obama's debt?
Yeah, but Obama
So
has 35.
doesn't this happen? Like,
Yes,
so I
this
don't
happens.
understand the principle of your argument. So
The thing is, look, this is what happens when Obama and Democrats are in power. When they spend money, they bring money in too. So you can see Obama reduced the deficit. No matter how much you want to say he spent, his tax plan paid for it. Trump's tax plan didn't pay for any of his spending. He passed it on to Biden and to our kids and on to your kids and their kids. It will come out year after year for the next 30 years.
But all right. So, but Biden, did he not preside under record inflation, and that caused the prices of everything to go up? And inflation is that tax on everybody. So
Yeah.
why for some reason it escapes me why Biden couldn't rein that in? Why couldn't he?
Trump resided over 15% unemployment. Why did he do that?
So is inflation temporary only? And why didn't they just raise rates immediately, or why did they?
Okay, well, because you can't, as the president, despite Trump trying to do it, you can't tell the Fed what to do. And the other thing is, again, y'all spent so much money. We had our hands tied.
If Biden's economy is so strong, then why did it make life harder?
You're gonna have to tell me how Biden caused inflation, right? So, if Biden was president and no COVID happened, you agree you wouldn't have seen, you would not have seen 9% inflation, right?
This is why, because it comes back to interest rates. Because easy money today means hard choices
Dude,
later.
I know you're obsessed with the idea of inflation, but I'm teaching you to like look at this. If Biden had no COVID, what do you think his inflation numbers would have been?
Okay, so hang on. COVID started under Trump, and we had tremendous growth up until that happened. And post
it would have been
pandemic,
nothing. Like it would have been almost nothing. It would have been the same.
A lot of the gains that you're talking about, that growth that you're talking about post pandemic, those when money became cheaper, right? When they're starting to stimulate the economy, that's what makes the economy look better than what it really is.
Okay, I'm just gonna teach you the whole thing of what happens, and teach you how this is just a silly idea. Like inflation number Biden, so Biden equals bad. Like this is causation correlation. It's like so I had a purple car back then. I had a purple Challenger SRTA. It's fucking sick. And when I actually got it repoed because I'm an idiot and XYZ happened. After I got it repoed, the economy went to shit. Does that mean I should go buy another purple car? Because the economy was good when I had a purple car.
So I want to make sure that I understand what you're saying. So you're blaming basically the bad numbers that happened in Biden's term on Trump. Is that what you're doing?
On COVID. You're looking at the debt and being, dang, look at all this stuff Biden spent. I'm just helping you interpret it because that's not what happened. Yes.
So
if
so
you
Biden did not benefit.
Like like if you look at this in good faith, you would go, this is a policy that caused debt. You wouldn't be looking at a portrait and a budgetary number. You would say, this is a policy that caused debt. Don't do that. You don't have anything like that. You have nothing.
I don't have anything like what? Say that again.
What policy of Biden's caused inflation? 9%.
What policy under Biden caused inflation?
Yeah.
Okay, so tremendous spending and cheap money.
Oh God. All right. So you don't have anything, because most of Biden's policies paid for themselves.
So COVID affected every country and every president, right? So the real question here isn't whether COVID caused this. The real question is how leaders responded once it did, and what damage lasted after that. So temporary shocks should cause changes and cause some damage, right? But long-term damage means policy failure. And COVID hit suddenly in 2020.
And
Lockdowns
all of the
caused a short crash. That is understandable. But a short drop makes sense. A long-term problem doesn't. If COVID ended, why didn't prices go back down?
That's not a thing. So are you educated in, like, formally in economics?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I'm not. I have a high school education.
Inflation peaked after lockdowns. Spending stayed high after reopening, and rates stayed near zero after
All of
recovery
the
began.
states,
So
all of the
COVID didn't
states.
force bad policy. Choices did.
No, 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 no.
Why keep emergency settings when the emergency is
The
over?
emergency settings didn't cause all the inflation. So, like, the whole world not being able to participate.
They kept. You didn't listen to me right there. They said, "Why keep emergency settings when the emergency is over?"
Do you remember this graph? All of those people who shut down had faster inflation recovery, better inflation numbers. So it's not a thing what you're saying.
That's because they had tighter money policy.
You mean the Democrats?
No, they had money became more expensive.
So they had lower inflation, and that's bad somehow now.
No, you're confusing inflation with the Treasury.
Dog, I'm talking state by state. Their inflation numbers, like you're saying, you said cause down caused even more inflation. They didn't. Because they have lighter inflation numbers in all the blue states. And you guys died at a 15% higher rate.
We died at a what?
Higher rate, 15%.
Okay, well, so let's go ahead and I don't think we're really getting anywhere on this, even though, right, we had 2.9% inflation under Biden, we had 9.1. Those are real numbers, real wage growth. You know, it was mostly positive under Trump, mostly negative under Biden.
The whole world had inflation.
Growth.
9% inflation is not Joe Biden's fault. He spent half as much as Trump. If you think spending causes inflation, I'd like to introduce you to the big, beautiful bill. He just spent like $5 trillion. If Biden's $4.4 trillion caused 9% inflation, I can't wait to see what inflation this causes. It's not that easy. It's not that simple.
So again, right, Trump produced growth without blowing prices out.
Does
Biden
inflation lag?
Growth.
Does inflation lag?
By how much?
Years?
Like how many years?
A year, 2 years. I know that like some inflation, like Trump introducing like 100% tax on something, that would cause inflation immediately on certain items or CPI growth. But I don't think that like Biden in the 2022 spike of 9% inflation was just this thing where Democrats spent so much money and we hyper-locally got all this inflation. No, all these other countries got 15, 20, 30% inflation. We had 3 with Biden at the end.
So how inflation lags? You're right, and inflation usually shows up about 6 to 12 to 18 months after the policy decisions that cause it, and that's why we're seeing inflation come down, because we just had a policy shift.
What inflation caused?
An ideological policy shift, and
what inflation? What policy caused it?
When you turn the wheel like we did on January 20th, right, and that means the interest rates start becoming cut. Lots of new money starts entering the system, and then spending starts increasing, right? So businesses still have all that inventory, contracts and wages are still locked in. This delay, it fools people a little bit, but demand.
What happened right prices, here when inflation went from 9 to 3%? What happened? How'd that happen?
Why don't you go ahead and tell me?
I thought Biden's policies caused all this inflation.
Because I raised this point earlier, and I think you already forgot it. What did they do with the rates?
Yeah, they raised the rates to fight inflation, but also Biden's raised rates to lower inflation.
When this line started going down.
Oh.
Yes, you're
they
right.
raised rates to lower.
But that's exactly what the Biden administration did, right? So they
Biden administration didn't do anything with rates. They don't do rates. No presidential administration does rates.
So the Fed started, right? The Fed did this. The Fed is appointed by the president.
Jerome Powell was appointed by Trump, and he's who was there.
And he's, yeah, sure. And he's being replaced now, right?
I guess Trump chooses bad people. I don't know. He seems fine to me. I think he's great. I think Trump just talks a bunch of shit.
I think he's actually done. I can see that. I think he's actually done a really good job. Under some really tough conditions, especially with tariffs. being brought in. People didn't really know what the effect of the economy would be of tariffs.
Yeah.
But I do think that the lowering of the rates is a little bit. They should have done that earlier.
I think that it would have been a lot easier to lower them if Trump didn't do all of his stuff to fuck up the markets. With tariffs, like you love so much like the stable markets. We don't have that with Trump, right? Like his tariffs completely have made them all volatile. There's so much uncertainty. No one knows where to invest besides AI. I don't know.
So let's talk about this trade policy, right? So you're super anti-tariff. Is that what I'm to take from you? That comment?
I think Trump's use of blanket tariffs is just an extreme abuse of power and like authoritarian stuff. Yeah, I think it's bad.
So let's define terms here. So what's fair trade?
What is fair trade?
Yeah, what does fair trade mean to you?
Having an agreement and sticking to that agreement.
So what about where trade rules are enforced, markets are reciprocal, right? And
I think reciprocal trades
are protected.
I think having
from abuse.
Trump's whole grievance with having trade deficits with other countries is silly and like a negative IQ position.
Let's talk about low IQ. Let's say trade where one side subsidizes industries and steals IPs and blocks access, uses labor or environmental loopholes. Is that unfair trade or is that fair trade?
That is unfair trade. Yeah.
Okay. Did relationships like that exist?
Yes.
Prior to the institution of tariffs. Okay.
Yes.
So trade without enforcement isn't really free, is it? It's one-sided. And then it's what mechanisms do we use to try and shift this unfair trade, as we just agreed and had clarity on.
So we're in a trade war.
So tools like tariffs, right, they're tools. They're not goals.
So we're paying for a trade war.
Increase forces a renegotiation.
I understand what he's doing. I understand that. I think we are paying taxes for Trump to do a trade war with China, for him to stifle the great economy of China, who's kicking fucking ass, doing all the things that leftists like.
Well, and they haven't been playing fair, and so why is a resetting of that trade relationship viewed as such a negative policy?
Trump, if he were to do this with Congress, that's another thing. But Trump is from the table of his desk with a pen and paper, controlling the entire world's economy.
From where? I'm sorry.
From his desk, and then he's controlling the entire world's economy.
Where did you want him to do it from?
From Congress.
Well, so that's a whole other debate. But Congress has abdicated their duty on so many different things.
So we need a dictator now.
So so we've talked about two different debates now. So what is the role of Congress, and how far should the president executive reach be able to go? I'm happy to have those conversations, but
yeah, like the Constitution just says it plainly: the power to levy taxes lies with Congress.
And so I think Trump, like a lot of people like to call Trump voters like immoral or unjust, but really I think I'm not endorsing the person, what he's done. It was more of a rejection of how
bad the left was. 12 of the last
16 years, majority liberal rule, where they haven't been responsible to their constituents. They haven't put their constituents first. And to have a person come in who's going to use their executive authority and effectively to start changing the dynamic in relationships like this, like in trade.
In every instance where an authoritarian
has been, and we're looking for what could be.
In every instance that an authoritarian comes into power, there's always an excuse for him. They always feed y'all like a reason to give them this power. And I mean, it couldn't be more obvious. Trump's got to do all this stuff. Just following the Constitution just too hard.
So we ran from this tariff conversation,
yeah,
right?
Trump is using my grievance with tariff is Trump's authoritarian rule of the world. If you want to survive as a country, you have to come kiss Trump's ring. If you want to survive as a business, you have to come kiss Trump's ring. And Trump just so happened to make.
Well,
like
so
$10
you don't
billion
negotiate by asking nicely. Presidents for the longest time have been asking nicely. And how did that work for us?
Congress.
It didn't.
I'm not asking about his
So
tone.
if
I'm talking
leverage
about
doesn't
doing
work,
it the right way.
why do countries fight it so hard? And critical goods matter. There's energy, semiconductors, food, and medicine, and over reliance.
So how do we know he's making the right decisions? How do we know that the man who paints his fucking face orange and shits his pants? How do we know he's making all of the right decisions? How come we don't
How do you
have
know
a
he's
bunch
not
of
making?
eyes?
So provide the evidence that he's not making the right decisions.
I want people with a bunch of eyes, with all of our interest in mind, looking at these trade deals, not him behind closed doors and making tens of billions of dollars doing this.
So did countries come to the table and did better deals get negotiated? Because that's evidence.
Debatably, I don't care if he got it done. I'm talking about the way he did it, man.
Okay, well, again, you don't negotiate by asking nicely, and if leverage doesn't work, then why do countries fight it so much?
I'm talking about Congress. I'm talking about Trump using Congress and doing this the right way.
Okay, but if Congress does not act, then then nothing should happen. We'll just let it continue to be. We'll kick the can down the road.
You're just
we'll
gonna
toss
have
the
to
beach
govern.
ball.
You're gonna have to govern like a real party. You have to govern
Okay,
like
that's
we
not,
do.
That's not how our system is designed. The executive branch has authority. He's using it, and if you guys try to impeach him twice, and
we try on real things, dude. Like no matter what happens, no matter no matter what
impeach him for this
no matter what happens to Trump, no matter how much rules and how many laws he breaks from this day forward, no matter how valid it is, you guys are going to run defense for him. If he murders a child, you're going to be like, oh, look, let's come back.
Let's come back. Let's come back. Let's rein it in and come back to tariffs, right? So trade shapes outcomes in labor, and offshoring weakens wages, right? It domestic production. It raises bargaining power and stabilizes the middle class jobs. So trade policy is labor policy. And if we're just trade neutral, like you're advocating for, why so you're okay with workers feeling those losses first? It sounds like.
No,
because that's who's going to lose on this.
Again, you're just like,
and that's who has.
You're arguing a ghost. I believe that tariffs are a tool that could be used to get some votes, maybe to do some fair trade, but Trump using them as a tool for war is not okay. We have other countries like banding together and making huge trade agreements without us, even buying military weapons from other places now too, because of the way we're treating them. Trump's about to take over Greenland. We're not making any fucking friends on the world stage.
You want to talk about Greenland?
Sure.
Okay. Let's talk about Greenland. So Greenland sits between North America and Europe, and the Arctic routes are opening up. And so whoever controls Greenland shapes that Arctic power, right? And so geography doesn't
Denmark controls Greenland, right?
Denmark controls Greenland.
Aren't we friends with
Denmark? And are we in Greenland as well? And do we invest in Greenland as well?
Yeah, we have 10,000 troops there, so I don't know what he needs extra. This is a point that the news made the other day. Like, we already have troops there. We have military power there. We can do whatever they want. Like, Trump wants something else. I think he's just being antagonistic to NATO so that we could give Putin a win or something.
Can you think of any reasons why Greenland would be important, or is it just unimportant?
It's got resources.
It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter?
He wants resources, yeah.
Okay, so exactly like you're saying, Greenland. We've got missile warning systems and air defense systems could be there. The U.S. already operates a military base right there. Russia and China are expanding into.
So what else extra do we need?
So early warnings saves lives. Do you like saving lives? And why is securing defense called aggression only when America does it?
We can do it. We can hold hands with Denmark and do it. Why are we taking over a country?
Denmark is not acting, and so these ice melts.
Hey, let us do whatever we want. They're letting us do whatever we want. We have military there. So,
but we don't. We need to be investing more there. There should be.
Cool. Why are we taking it over?
Do you want to wait until something happens here until we should act, or do you think taking preemptive?
That's not the only option.
Do you think
we're taking it over? Like they'll work with us. What are we
doing? It sounds like you kind of think that we should be there and we should be investing more.
We are there.
From what I'm hearing,
we don't need to take it over and steal it. That's going to make us no friends.
So what incentive does a country have to own a land? Because if we go over there and then we invest in and we develop this country without ownership, what could
Dude, you know what else is really important? Mexico. Panama Canal. We should get that too. You know what else is really important?
I'm for that. That
China.
Panama
Like,
Canal.
dude, this is
Yeah.
imperialism. This is, I mean, this is ultranationalism running about. Like,
And we've invested a bunch of money into Mexico as well.
oh
But
god.
why are you running away from Greenland? You said you wanted to talk about Greenland.
Yeah, you are being an imperialist, disgusting person. You can't come up with an actual reason why we need to take over Greenland because we already have everybody there.
So what do you think that means? Take over? You think like we're going to go in and kill people over there?
No, we're just gonna. I mean, there might be a conflict eventually, but no, we're probably just gonna like literally own Greenland.
So you're against American expansion, against American growth. It sounds like you think that that's
Yeah,
a bad thing. Like
expansion,
we should
imperialism.
shrink. We should give.
Call it
Should
what
we
it
give
is.
away some of our country?
Imperialism. That's what it is. Imperialism. That's what it is.
So you want us to shrink? Are you're for American shrinkage?
Why would we shrink? Why am I for shrinking?
Well, you're anti-growth.
That's not shrinking. You're for
Okay.
you're for
Well,
shrinking.
do you
Do you
wanna-
believe in climate
Do you want to
change?
talk substance? Do you want to talk substance, or do you want to just like have an emotional debate here?
I think that's
Because
what you're
I'm trying
doing.
to talk
You
to
like
you about.
you're framing this like you're like, oh well, if we don't take over Greenland, then you're just not a patriot and you want to give land away.
Yeah, okay. Forgive me. Like you're baiting me into having these conversations that become very rhetorical and emotional. But I'm trying to tell you that there's some strategic advantages to having more of a presence and more of an investment and ownership over Greenland. And if you're willing to listen to me, I'm willing to say that
there are tons of
Greenland,
advantages to owning every country I could think of. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, we're not advocating for owning every country, right? So we've got national and global security, we've got shipping routes, we've got minerals and supply chains, we've got energy and future resources, we've got NATO, Denmark, and defense responsibilities.
We won't be friends with NATO after
benefit realities. We've got blocking rival forces that are staging in this area.
Okay, now name a thing that we can't that we can do after we invade
or
it.
is this just an imperialism debate?
It's an imperial. Like you just named a bunch of stuff we can already do without him taking it over. So.
Okay, but why do all those things? So give all that to the profits. Denmark reaps the profits of all that. Is that what you're suggesting? We go and set up all this
If they own that
infrastructure?
land, yeah, they get to keep that land.
Okay, so this is this is again we're starting to have another emotional debate about this is wrong. This is people that do this. They're does not the world benefit from people like China? Is China and Russia and the adversarial countries who are setting up and having a presence in this area? Would it not benefit countries like in Europe to push back on those forces?
No, I think that we will be
no benefit.
I think that Europe would probably divorce itself from us in NATO, and they would effectively be less powerful, and Russia would be probably marching right into Poland like day 2 after that. So and then Russia gets to keep Poland and control the Black Sea and the only other warm water port that they control that they could use during the winter, and then they can fucking stop us from getting oil, and they can fucking control the Strait of Hormuz, and it just goes on and on and on. So yeah, no, I just don't think we should do that.
Okay, well, I mean, we can disagree there, I guess. What other arguments besides this is imperialism bad? Trump imperialism bad. Do you have any other arguments than that?
Dude, I don't even know how you can just like make that into a caricature. It's just a given imperialism's bad, right?
And can you acknowledge that there's tons of strategic benefits that don't just impact us but impact other countries as well? And
yeah,
what does imperialism mean?
It would far outweigh the bad stuff, right? Like we would lose all our friends.
And if we did have an agreement with Denmark, that doesn't even match the definition of imperialism. What is imperialism?
If we forcibly take over that country, that's imperialism.
And so if we come to a negotiating agreement with Denmark and we acquire Greenland, is Trump an imperialist?
Yes. When Hitler went to take over Austria, and they just said, you know what, fucking just have it. Was he being imperialist? Was he being imperialist?
What you just said, right, tells me that this is really just an emotional debate, because you said that the definition of imperialism is conquest without consent by force. And I said, well, if we have a negotiated agreement with Denmark and we acquire Greenland from Denmark through negotiating, is that imperialism? And then you just said yes.
Because it's by force, yes. We're throwing our weight around. Whether or not they actually shoot us, whether or not they actually commit violence or we do, doesn't necessarily like disqualify this from being imperialism, because they might not why would they ever, right? So there's plenty of imperialism that takes place that doesn't involve killing, and that's what we're doing. Yes.
No. So what's being discussed here is a negotiated security, allied responsibility, and rule-based governance.
We already have that.
And words
That's
matter.
NATO.
Imperialism is force. Alliances are consent. If consent exists, where is the imperialism?
No, you're okay. So when Hitler got a bunch of people to concede and give them his territory without any bloodshed, was that imperialism?
No.
No?
Without any. Repeat yourself.
When Hitler got them to concede Austria and another Russian, ethnically Russian country from like France, was that imperialism or not?
Was force used? Was there?
It was, yes.
You said nobody was killed.
Nobody was killed. No, he just
was
got
it
them.
done to somebody's
He
head?
got them.
Then unfortunately for you, because definitions and words matter, then that's not imperialism, because imperialism means conquest without consent, extraction without benefit, and rule without accountability.
No.
It's pretty simple, man.
They were forced. They were forced. Whether there was
If
they had to. Their
what you
hands were
said
tied.
prior was
Whether
incorrect.
they signed a piece of paper not because they wanted to, because they had to.
I don't know the details of this specific instance, but I was going based on what you told me, that if there was force used, then this is imperialism. I'll be forced to change my answer because there's a definition that we have to go by on what imperialism means.
Man. Yeah, we are expanding at the detriment of our neighbors. That's imperialism.
So imperialism it has ever-changing definitions.
It's got quite a few. I think you've added a few qualifiers too, but imperialism can definitely be shown as non-violent. Policy or practice where a powerful nation extends its rule, authority, or influence over other countries or territories, often for economic, political, or cultural gain, using military force, economic control, or indirect influence to establish dominance. Yeah, easily. This is imperialism. Yes.
So does what responsibility does America have in the world?
You're going to stretch this, right? We do have, like, if are you going to say we're the world police to protect everybody? Because this is going to be pretty damning to the MAGA movement, if that's what you're going to say.
Well, let me ask the question again. What?
All right, America first. Calvin, thank you for the kick. W Calvin's with a C in the chat. Let's go. Chat, tap the screen. Thank you guys for 100K. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, are you a Trump supporter?
I kind of swing on both ways, left, right, center. So I was actually born overseas. I'm actually an immigrant. I'm a minority, and I'm an Iraq war vet. So a little bit different.
Okay. What do you like about Trump?
So I don't really pay too much attention to like domestic policy per se. I'm also a political science major. I studied international relations and foreign affairs in New York, and so I have a little bit of a combination background of like being abroad, working in the military, studying in a school. So I'm a little bit educated and experienced on the topic. So I'm kind of indifferent to left-right paradigms and stuff. If you look at like Ireland, for instance, it's actually really interesting that they actually have a multi-party system. And if you look at countries like in Korea, I'm actually Korean American, there's a minority majority when it comes to religious institutions in Korea. So I actually have a very different eclectic background. So what do I like about him? A lot of people may disagree or agree, but I actually like his strong arm foreign policy tactics. Not in the sense of how he uses Twitter to saber rattle, which I think is very risky. I'm very interested in actually how he's trying to upend the old New World Order system that was sort of established by I guess after the post World War II and during the Cold War, when you had the gold standard removed, when Nixon moved in, and also, yeah, wait, moved in and kind of changed things also with trade. There was like you
Please
can
tell
look through
me
many factors.
you don't want to go back to the gold standard.
I didn't say anything like that, dude. I just said that the policies changed dramatically
You say,
through
I mean, you just
whether
said
what
that like a negative or something. I was just,
I'm just saying that the policies have changed dramatically from the last 70 years after post World War II. That there was this new world order that was sort of established, where it was more like a bipolar establishment between the Cold War and towards sort of capitalism and communism. When Trump came in, the old system that was set in the 20th century, that was what it was, and what rhinos or Democrats, whatever they were running it like in the 20th century. For the 21st century, it's a whole different breed that they have to deal with at this point in time. And the whole concept of globalism is also kind of there, but it also doesn't really work sometimes. So what he did is he came in and actually decided to reset it. But the thing is, the US, everybody, like, you're American, right? I'm American. So we want the US to be the strongest and best country. We want it to be a melting pot for the world. We want it to be
oh,
a good
only one side
society.
wants that.
No, I mean, you want the US to be a good country, right? And be successful as well, right? You have
Yeah.
your own definition of that.
No, I, I think there's only one party who objectively looks at like trying to make the economy better, trying to make society better, trying to like spread like unity and stuff. I think the other side is always a miss on the economy. They always fuck up the economy. They're very bad. I think that they're also, just look at the last 20 years in Iraq and Trump's really bad withdrawal from Afghanistan. I don't give him any credit. And we have a lot of we have a lot to deal with in the future from all these problems. So like we can look at this and feel gung ho, and if you're like have some sort of patriotism or like ultra nationalism that Trump has really tried to like drum up in his base,
I'm not an ultra nationalist.
there is plenty of them, and that's what Trump wants you to be.
Wait a second. You're making up stuff because, for one, I'll go back. I was born in a foreign country. Okay, I have triple citizen kids. Yes, it does matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does matter. I'm an immigrant. I'm a
Doesn't matter.
minority.
Hitler was an Austrian. He thought he was German. He was ultra nationalist.
How in the world
Doesn't
could you
matter.
say, as a white male, even if you're a Democrat, that I, as an immigrant and as a minority, to define that I'm an ultra nationalist?
Yes. I'm not calling you ultra nationalist, but his bases,
Yes.
his politics are.
I'm not
So-
talking about that. The thing is, I already told you that I vote blue and red and independent. I don't
Okay.
vote just on one side. So you define me in a sense that's not correct. I already told you. I'm an
I'm
immigrant.
saying that you could
I'm
have
a
hints of this, and you could have
minority.
ideologies that bleed into being ultra nationalist. Yes, if you are sitting here playing with the idea and it excites you with like being imperialist, and you're chalking it up to presidents or the government has they need to take care of us.
Do you know anything about Korean history at all? Do you know anything about Northeast Asian history?
I really don't actually.
Okay, so then you would know what Korea has been through when it comes to imperialism in Japan over 50 years.
Sure.
From the
I have a small idea. I have a rough idea.
40s.
Yeah.
So you understand that Korea's been through immense imperialist issues, right?
Yeah.
In Japan.
Yeah, so you should be against these ideas,
All
right?
of Asia.
You should be against this kind of stuff.
I'm against when a country decides to go through by force, annex other countries, control it, change their language, change their religion, change their
It has to do
culture.
all of that?
No, wait. I'm said that this is what happened to Korea. I'm staying on that topic. Don't jump
That's
around.
really bad.
What
But what about Greenland?
This is what happened in Korea is in a very extreme condition. They
Uh-huh.
changed the culture, they changed the religion, they changed everything about society, and they tried to erase everything. They also annexed it. There is something going back to the Taft-Katsura
What do you
agreement.
think will happen
nine-
to
wait,
Greenland
wait,
if
wait,
we take over it?
Wait. There was something happened in the Taft-Katsura agreement, and with where the U.S., where Howard Taft and then Katsura made an agreement that says, okay, U.S. gets the Philippines and Japan gets Korea. So it was a really shitty deal back then, where the U.S. was very imperialist at the time. And a lot of people don't know about that. They even did a whole Duddy Buddy thing and doing the
You're
Treaty
getting
of
off track.
Potsdam.
I think you're just giving me
Wait,
history
no,
that
I'm
you
not.
know. because you're insecure or something. Can you just tell me why you think
No, I'm being
imperialism is good in
accurate
the
on the
case of
history
Greenland?
that the U.S. with Korea's been through stuff. The 38th parallel, actually, with Korea, is because of the
What are
Treaty
you?
of Potsdam.
No one's
And then
talking about Korea. Why are we talking about
the
Korea?
Russians came down, and the 38th parallel was cut. And so the U.S. Russia, and China, they all divided Korea at the 38th parallel. So I'm fully aware of imperialism. I'm fully aware of foreign
And
Western powers.
and it's bad, right?
Carving up foreign countries.
And it's
carving
bad,
up
right?
foreign countries. Whether you talk about what happened to the Kurdish or whatever else,
is
or
it bad?
carving up the Ottoman Empire.
Is it bad?
You're trying to simplify what happened 100 years ago versus.
Is there a
what's
type of
happening
imperialism that's good? Then tell me about that.
What was your definition of imperialism?
Oh my
Person,
God,
you read ChatGPT, right?
Yeah, I
ChatGPT
use computers.
It can be indirect. It can be indirectly. It can be political, economic. It can be physical by force through kinetic warfare. There's many ways you can do imperialism.
And
The U.S. did
any of them are good?
You're rating me as an ultra-nationalist, super Trump supporter, but I was even against what the U.S. did with the Philippines. I'm
So
living in
that's
the
bad
Philippines
too.
right now. Well, what
Is
they
there
did in the
is there
Philippines
is there?
was-
What's your
so when
favorite
they
version
beat
of
Spain-
imperialism? What's
when they
like a
beat-
good
when they beat
version?
So when the U.S. beat Spain, and they said, "Okay, give us your shit because we won," they gave the Philippines. They got all sort of stuff. Well, then they decided to do this whole war in the Philippines to kind of squash it all with the Moro Rebellion. The way they did it, was that correct? No, that wasn't really correct either. But you could do 100 years later.
So that's the kind you like?
Did I say that? I just said that.
I'm still waiting for a type of imperialism that's good.
No, wait. You just put words in my mouth. I just said that I didn't agree with that.
Okay, so which kind of imperialism's good?
I didn't agree. Look, what
I'm
the
trying to
U.S.
figure it
did
out.
with the Taft-Sturza agreement, I didn't agree with how they divided up Philippines and Crete between Japan and the U.S.
I still don't have a good one
agree
from
with
you.
how they dealt with the Moro Rebellion in the Philippines. I don't agree with that either.
Dude, I hate
don't agree with
Microsoft
the
95.
parallel.
I hate Windows 95, 97. X was
I
good.
don't agree with how
I
they carved
hate
up the Ottoman Empire, how they divided the Kurdish.
Windows
after
10 was
World War
good.
I.
Windows 11, I'm okay with though. Windows 11 is all right. I was thinking about getting another monitor. Asus is my favorite brand, and I'm probably just getting another 60 hertz, like 37-inch monitor, probably like right here.
So you don't want to have a discussion on foreign policy or international relations, do you?
Oh, I thought we were just saying random stuff.
No, I'm talking about international relations and foreign policy. You talked about ultranationalism and imperialism. And I'm giving examples of that, of how Western foreign powers carved up other countries and divided them.
So I'm still waiting. I'm sitting here. You're preaching to the choir. I'm sitting here and saying in every case, imperialism is bad. And you're going to sit here and tell me that this flavor that we're engaging in today is good.
The term, what they do today is what everybody's been. You know what the term is?
Everybody does it. When I go to court for my next ticket, I'm just gonna say everybody does this. Everybody speeds.
No, this is world. What happened is that the U.S. was the only superpower on Earth at the time, so they ended up becoming the world's police, and that's kind of a stupid thing they're doing. But that's what ends up kind of currently happening. It's not like imperialism. You're trying to define imperialism from 100, 200, 300 years ago as what it is today. What is today are more like executive orders and policing actions that are the debate is it abusive or not? Is it they need declaration of war? So if you push to have a declaration of war from Congress, that's astronomically order of magnitudes worse than even a policing action. Now you have a full-blown war, which means you drag all the other countries involved.
Right.
So the policing action is real. The policing action is really shitty. It's not really that great.
Your criteria for
war is even worse.
So declaring war is real bad. Everything up until declaring war.
Really bad.
Okay, so Trump just doing military actions.
That's really stupid.
Dude, I just let you go.
Declaring war, World War II. That's this.
Holy fucking shit, dude. You're welcome, chat. Just need to take a breath. All right. So long as nobody like Trump has a group of people like checks and balances helping him do things and making sure that they're kosher and making sure that we're not getting into World War III, you trust that it's way better that Trump is doing all of these like military things or annexing Greenland or even Canada and making tons of enemies, as long as it's not like the same version of imperialism we saw in like feudal Japan. Is that what you're saying?
What he's doing is overstretched policing actions, and he is kind of cranking it more than he should. One of the big problems is that the executive branch powers have been kind of pushed by each president not declaring war, whether it's been going back for a really freaking long time. They've been using executive actions, and they've been using the War Powers Act and other things to basically keep pushing this stuff, whether Democrat or Republican. We can agree all the presidents have basically done that. And that's been a big problem. Trump is just
I'm
pushing a little
talking
bit
about
further.
Trump has done
They're,
this
they
light
all
years
have been
further. Light years.
all of them have been pushing it, and then Trump has been pushing it further as well. Obama pushed it with the drone strikes, and then
and then
with
Trump
Operation
and
Flood.
Trump increased it by 450% with drone strikes, and then rolled back transparency laws so we couldn't see how many fucking kids he killed.
You can go back that even it's to World War II. You can go back to Cambodia where they bombed it till there looks like
Yeah,
craters.
I know,
of the
but you're not
moon.
going to same both sides of this shit, dude. Trump is out here pairing tariffs, blanket tariffs, tariffing the whole world, and
Look, if you
taking
want to
and
talk
being as
about
imperialist as he
war, and
possibly
if you want
can.
to talk about war and death and destruction, if you want to look at how bad it's gotten, this is
Dude, this guy just needs a friend. He just needs to go talk to somebody. Go talk. We're not even debating. I don't know, dude. I feel like if I ever, instead of turning on the History Channel, I just fucking tune into this stream. God damn, dude. I've never had people dance around the word imperialism so much. Like we can easily like point at this and say this is bad. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. So what you're seeing is like cognitive dissonance. They're like, "No, it's not that. It's let me think of it. It's something else." It's imperialism. It's straight up imperialism. We're not making any friends. Trump is a fucking prick. He was the president of no new wars. Now he's a fucking hero. Now you guys feel the rush and the thrill of it. Now you guys want to see how many yards we can gain. You guys want to see him do all this badassery. You think he is fucking Jason Bourne. I thought we weren't the world police. What happened to America First? Dude, he got you guys fucking charged up. You guys were ready to stop funding Ukraine so that Putin could go do his imperial shit. Now we need to police the world. It's our due diligence. But we're still against Ukraine. Like they'll still Oh my god. And USAID is still bad. Soft power is still bad. God. Chat, don't forget to follow the stream. I have a Cash App and Venmo in the bio. If you guys are trying to support me, buy me Advil or whatever else, new hat. U.S. does policing actions, not imperialism. Trump is literally saying things about imperialism. So sure, you're right. U.S. should maybe do some policing action, but mostly stay the fuck out of things, I guess. Like we do a lot of policing in the name of oil, just like we did in Venezuela. How dumb are y'all? You guys were just crying about how we were just in a forever war with the Middle East because of oil. Now you guys are just skipping all the extra. Like, just tell us it's oil. We'll cheer for it. Just tell us right up front. We'll say thank you. God damn, dude. Because they think they'll pay less for gas. I want to see if Mr. Global has a good thing on this. By the way, guys, I don't know. I think I might do another hour. That's what I was doing. Just gonna do my iPad. Mr. Global. If you guys don't follow Mr. Global, he's pretty nonpartisan. I think he hates Trump, though.
Honest question. Now that we're in 2026, gas prices did fall in 25 under Trump. Will you give him and Elon credit, or does the explanation only ever flow one direction? I would beg you to find one instance where I ever credited Joe Biden for anything that happened in the oil and gas industry. I didn't credit him for record production. I didn't credit him for lower gas prices last year. Never credited Barack Obama for anything, even though he had lower gas prices in his last year than Trump had in any year. I don't know what you mean by only flows in one direction. There's one instance where I've credited a president for something in the oil and gas industry. That was George Bush. I gave him a lot of credit for his comprehensive energy policy, which was great. And I was critical of Donald Trump for the OPEC 2020 deal, which is why we paid $5 for gas. Not some argument about some ridiculous pipeline. Basically, you want me to give Donald Trump credit for doing what a little kid does when he cleans his room. You know how he just hides everything under the bed? That's basically what happened. That's why we have lower gas prices now. Getting OPEC to increase production and put tens of thousands of oil and gas workers out of a job isn't something that I feel the need to give him credit for. And besides, historically, every time OPEC has ever increased production to regain market share, we always end up paying more for gas in the end. And it's coming again, and this time, it will happen under the Trump administration. Yeah, he got OPEC to do this way too early in his administration. He's going to pay for that in the end. See, last time he got it to do it near the end of his administration, so Biden would have to pay for it. But to give a president credit for falling gas prices, he would have had to address the two reasons gas prices are high. Now, one of those reasons were already addressed because we had record production in 2024 and 2023. And the thing that was keeping gas prices higher than they historically would have been was our refined fuel exports. We're exporting way too much gasoline out of the country. Donald Trump didn't fix that. He got OPEC to artificially crash the market by getting them to produce more oil. That doesn't fix the refined fuel exports problem. As a matter of fact, it's only going to make it significantly worse when OPEC decides to cut production. It's like putting a paper towel on a piece of dog shit laying on the floor. It doesn't fix it. It doesn't clean up the mess. So all he had to do was limit those refined fuel exports. Even today, gas is more expensive than it should be with the current price of oil because of those refined fuel exports. That's all he had to do. Wouldn't have cost oil and gas workers their jobs. U.S. oil companies could still operate and make a profit with oil at $65 or $70, wherever it would be. But no, Donald Trump thinks it's like 1970 and oil prices have that big of an impact on gas prices. But that would go against the donors. The donors want to export that gas so they can make more money. So no, I'm not going to be giving Donald Trump credit for something OPEC did. He's literally making the problem worse long term, like everything else. I don't like living on credit cards in the moment. But don't worry, when those gas prices come back, and they always come back higher than they did before, you will certainly get to hear exactly what I think about that. Because as y'all are scrambling, trying to figure out who to blame, and as Donald Trump is threatening war with OPEC, I'm going to be sitting right here saying, told you, just like I always do.
Love Mr. Global. What's up, Infectious?
I just figured I'd come up. I watch Mr. Global stuff almost every day.
Yeah.
And the biggest news that I've heard lately is the oil and gas executive meeting at the White House a couple of days ago, talking about Venezuela. And as far as the CEOs, they basically all told Donald Trump that Venezuela is uninvestable, is actually a quoted term. We're talking Exxon, BP, um, Conoco. The only company that showed any interest whatsoever was Saudi Amco, which I'm sure you know where they come from. So, not a single U.S. He explained this like a week or two ago, like right after the Venezuela hit happened. After we were kind of, or after they were kind of kicked out of Venezuela, and we weren't uh, able to pump Venezuelan oil anymore, they decided to go ahead and invest in Canada because they have the same type of oil. So over the years that they've been there, they've invested over $500 billion there. They're not going to go to Venezuela and compete against themselves. It's just not going to happen.
So
And that's why
there are
they're not going
few
anywhere.
prospects going to Venezuela for the oil, and it's probably just going to go to the Saudis.
Pretty much. Yep. Pretty much. They're the only ones that are even interested in it, and that's
Saudi Arabia
because
first,
you gotta
chat.
figure Venezuela is a founding member of OPEC.
Saudi Arabia is first, chat. You heard it here first.
Yep. So, but no, yeah, I watch Mr. Global literally every day. I go to his page just in case I'm missing any. So, keep up on things.
Yeah, I need to do that more. I need to do it more. The United States is Saudi. Yeah, and that's another thing that came to mind when I was talking about that guest with the economic stuff. Like, he wants to look at bare numbers and the president who was in charge during those years. When that's another prime example, and you guys have probably heard me say it 1,000 times, but in 2020, Trump told Saudi Arabia to stop drilling oil to the tune of 9.7 million barrels per day, which artificially increased the price of gas. So if you want to look at inflation, and Trump says it himself, the price of oil determines inflation, right? It causes inflation because everything else is cheaper or more expensive based on, delivery or whatever, shipping. So yeah, if you want to say someone caused inflation, you can look at that. That's a 2-year deal Trump caught us in. And 2 years into Biden's presidency, we were stuck with a 10 million barrel per day decrease worldwide. And to put that into perspective, we drill 13.4 million barrels per day right now. So huge.
Yeah, we're getting close to another oil crash. I mean, the oil and gas companies are set to lay off anywhere between, I think they said like anywhere between 5 to 25% of their labor force this year. And every single one of them have come out and said it. Every single one of them. They are cutting between 5 to 25% of their labor force.
Incoming layoffs in the oil and gas industry are happening and expected to continue 2025, driven by falling crude prices, rising costs, trade policy impacts. Guys,
Yep.
we love stability, and we need to judge our presidents on the stability of prices, like that last guest said.
Now, don't get me wrong. Right now, production's actually sitting pretty good, but our rig count is falling drastically.
We've already started out Bolter predicting oil crash since 2024. We're not talking about oil crash, and we're not talking about Mr. Global anymore. Like, this is all of the oil companies themselves saying they're doing layoffs. They are doing layoffs right now. By the thousands, oil companies / 2025. Well,
Yeah. And that oil market's going to crash fucking hard. It's going to crash hard and it's going to crash fast. And like, he just said in his video, this time around, it's not at the end of Trump's term. It's right at the beginning of it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he will have to answer for this.
Yeah. But he doesn't care. He's out after this.
No, no.
They don't honestly. I just don't think that they care at all. Like, they only care about the strangest shit. Like, half of them are falling for the anti-Israel stuff, but they still love Trump. But they hate him sometimes, but they still love him. They'll vote for Vance. Forget all about it.
Well, I mean, how many times have we had to sit here and tell MAGA about, hey, you realize there's a fallout, right? They got to make X number of dollars to make it profitable, otherwise they'll go out of business. But they don't get that shit. They're like, oh, cheaper gas, cheaper gas.
Oh, he's scared of the midterm loss. Yeah, I know. There's like 2 things he said in the last week that are like, what? Like, he was talking about stopping companies from buying private homes, and then he was talking about, there was something else he said, like, things that I heard that are like scary because I agree with him, and I'm wondering what his version of them are.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch the bottom fall out on the oil and gas industry, and then gas will hit $6 a gallon everywhere.
Did he say something good? He talked. I mean, we'll see if it happens. He talked about stopping private companies from buying single family homes. He's a real estate mogul. He is one of those people. Unless he's going to go out and buy homes in his personal name after this.
Oh, you know what? No, I actually talked to somebody about this 2 days ago. He's not anymore. He's not making any money on his real estate.
Oh, yeah.
What is he making money on?
Yeah, he's making money as president.
Meme coin.
Yeah.
Right. You know, I mean, he's making money on meme coin. He's making money on his brand. He doesn't need real estate anymore. What does he fucking care?
Yeah.
Granted, I will be the first to say if he can get Congress to pass that, I'm down. I am absolutely down. Good legislation.
Yep.
But 1,000,001 bad things and then one good thing do not fucking balance out.
Yeah, I mean, I just had 2 guests tell me that we're in the middle of this. We're ready for civil war with Trump's political messaging, his mean tweets that weren't so, everybody was so upset about for a while. Everybody's too pussy, and now we are the ones who are, they're pearl clutching, and they're wondering why we're so divided.
You want a good question to ask them all?
Huh.
If they start talking about Minneapolis, just ask them straight up. When did "Don't Tread on Me" become "Obey or Die"?
Hmm.
When did that change? When did that shift happen? And how do you feel about that? Because it's what they're all talking about right now. She should have obeyed. She should have done what she was told.
He makes a shitload on his golf courses. That's real estate. His golf courses is a recruiting grounds for all of his political people. So if you want to be able to get to Trump before the meme coin, you paid for the $200,000 membership to his golf club, and you screamed and shouted transphobic stuff in the news and how the election was stolen, and then he funded your campaign.
And y'all realize he takes them to his golf course because there's zero accountability there. You know that, right? There's no staffers listening. There's no possible reporters within a good half mile away. That's why he takes people there.
Yeah. Plus, he likes golfing. He likes to golf. I wonder if we get any good juicy pardons this week.
Yeah, that I don't know. That one I haven't. God, there's been so much other shit. Fuck. I spent most of my day yesterday going over the 5 different Minneapolis videos frame by frame, so I knew what the hell I was talking about there.
So we got Ross Ulbricht aiding and abetting distribution of drugs over the internet, engaging in this guy, the Silk Road.
Silk Road guy. Yeah.
Yeah. He pardoned him. Totally the party of law and order. Those chat guys. Hold on. He pardoned Andrew Zabavki, 48 months imprisonment, 3 years supervised. Conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and aiding and abetting. Murder and second-degree conspiracy, obstruction of justice, aiding and abetting. And he was involved in an unauthorized police pursuit that ended in a collision, which caused the death of 20-year-old Karen Hilton Brown. Both men were ordered to serve 3 years. They were pardoned by Trump. Conspiracy against rights, violation of the FACE Act. He pardoned Lauren Handy, Jonathan Darn, Jay Smith, Paula Paulette. All of these people were involved in some election fraud. Love that. There's about a dozen of those. Conspiracy to obstruct access to clinic providing reproductive health services. Some pro-life crazy people, pardoned them. Oh, there were 24 anti-abortion protesters. Wire fraud. We got Rod Batchevek. Wire fraud, conspiracy, attempted extortion, corrupt solicitation of funds, conspiracy to corruptly solicit funds, 2 counts, making false statements. Full pardon by Trump. Trump's decision to pardon was criticized by the U.S. Senator Dick Durbin, former Lieutenant Governor Pat Quinn. Whoa. Okay, Trump pardoned a 47-year-old who pled guilty in November 22. Charges related to attempts to funnel campaign money from his state legislative seat towards his failed 2016 congressional bid. Trump loves fraud, dude. Brian Kelsey.
He can relate.
Oh my God. He pardoned the Christies, yeah. Thomas Edward Caldwell, tampering documents and proceeding. Retired Navy intelligence officer sentenced on a single count of tampering with evidence for deleting messages following the Capitol attack, while he's convicted on a second count for obstructing joint. He deleted evidence for J6. Devin Archer? He pardoned Devin Archer?
That honestly wouldn't surprise me at all. Devin Archer has inroads to different places.
Why the fuck did he pardon Devin Archer? That's Hunter Biden's business partner.
Like I said, Archer's got contacts. He's got value to him.
What about what?
Exactly, Army Wife, because of The Price is Right.
He's got some more crypto people that were fraudsters, violating the Bank Secrecy Act. Some people who did wire fraud and stole from charities. Oof. For fallen Vegas police officers? What a fuck. And they spent the money on personal and political expenses, including cosmetic surgery and daughter's wedding. Michelle Fior. Dude, this wiki page is gold. How has no one gone through this? It's just a wiki page of all the pardons he's done this year. Filing false labor union reports. Jesus fucking Christ. Fraud. Shoplifting, second degree, bail reform act, second degree theft. An unnamed Trump administration said that Basden had committed the offenses while suffering from substance abuse problems. Now sober. Well, yeah, he's sober. He's in fucking prison. God, you're fucking shitting me, dude. There's the Chrisleys. Dude, we're not even a third of the way down the page. And the 1500 J6ers were just one box.
Hey man, I gotta go for a minute. My wife just came home with groceries. I
right.
might be back.
All right, dude.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, someone says he wants to lock liberal and socialists up, yada, yada, yada. Check my text. Text is a problem. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Dolphin. What's the title of the wiki? This is just the list of people granted executive clemency in second Trump presidency. You just Google that. Scott was convicted of conspiring CEO of U.S. Lighting Company and others in pump and dump scheme. Oh my god, dude. He's just got a band of felons that he's just friends with, dude. This is insane. Trump fakes elector scheme, pardons for that. Nice. Preemptive pardons for all the Trump fake electors. Wow. Holy shit. If there was no fake electors, who's getting pardoned? When FBI agents sought to question J6, K posted videos social media threatening to shoot agents. And he's pardoned. And he's pardoned. Guys, they only like the domestic terrorism. That's their flavor. They want it legalized. Schwartz pled guilty in January. Prosecutor said it's $38 million payroll tax fraud scheme. Guys, Tim Walz is the only guy that does fraud. This is all lies. Here's the coke dealer trying to rig a bid. What? Orchestrating a conspiracy to rig the bidding process for an arena at a public university in Austin. To benefit his own company, deprive taxpayers of the benefits of competitive bidding. Trump pardoned him. Tim Lywicki. Henry Cuellar, like they're all they're all like heinous. They're all horrible, dude. Tina Peters, that bitch. She's doing 9 years. Trump's pardon doesn't help her. Oh man. Not as many commutes. Biden did mostly commutes. Trump, he's given full pardons, baby. Especially if you're a fraudster. Full pardons. If you sell yayo, or if you did fraud, Trump's got your back, dude. Wow. He won't release the Tiger King. He could have got that one right, dude. He could have got one thing right. It eliminates their obligation to pay back those they defrauded. Sick. Sick. Yeah. Yep. Chat, I won't lie. I've been up all night, so I might be calling it early, a little early here. If you love America, Trump is a great president. Wait, I love America. So I guess Trump is great. Wow. You just do this nowadays? Yeah. This is what I do. I just yap. So if you like yapping, follow the stream. Bondi said she's going to take Antifa out, but taking out brick by brick, then execution. Lovely. So you guys love fascism. You don't like anti-fascist. Got it. Got it. What are the 14 tenets of fascism? Ultranationalism, stolen elections, sexism, cronyism, common enemy. You want to talk about fascism? We can talk about fascism. Silencing opposition. Yes, silencing opposition. So Trump attacking universities, using executive orders to attack law firms, pretty much making Antifa a domestic terrorist organization, making those ideas terrorist ideas. Being anti-ICE is now against the law. It is domestic terrorist criteria. Trump attacking the media. Trump kicking media people out of the Oval Office and only bringing in weird fucking people like that lady with a bunch of fucking plastic surgery. Hello?
Oh, hi.
Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes.
Okay, what do you like about Trump?
His policy, he was gonna like remove Section 8 and people manipulate Section 8.
So just no more Section 8?
Yeah.
What do you think that'll do to all the people that need Section 8?
They'll find programs. I'm pretty sure the government got something going on.
Something else like Section 8?
Yeah.
So just another Section 8 that they can do the same thing with?
Like another program for like something similar to welfare checks.
Section 8's not exactly welfare. I'm gonna let you go fix your smoke alarm. What's up, JB?
Yep. You want to talk fascism?
Sure.
All right, go ahead.
All right. I think
start us off.
I think Trump is a 10 out of 10. Meets every single tenet of fascism. Some 12 out of 10.
You gave a lot of isms in your definition of fascism, so why don't you say them again?
You want the 14 tenets?
Yeah, you gave a lot of isms when you went over that.
Yeah, they're all isms.
Well, speak about them in plainly. What do those isms mean?
Okay, let's go over them. Powerful and continuing nationalism. Fascist regimes tend to make constant use of patriotic mottos. America first. Basically, all those people with like trucks wrapped in 15 American flags, those are signs of ultranationalism. They are just obsessed, and their identity is their country. So when Trump says this is for the betterment of our country, they buy into it, and it's very easy to manipulate these people. Disdain for recognition
Let's
of
pause right here. What's the identity? What's the identity of the Democrat Party?
liberalism,
So you're saying that
inclusivity.
nationalism is a bad thing. People live in their country so much that that's a bad thing. No, go ahead
Yes,
and
yeah,
say what the
like
Democrats.
so it's ultra nationalism. That's bad, right? Powerful and continuing nationalism, like being simply like a patriot is one thing, but being ultra nationalist to a point where like it's like fuck Greenland. We're America. We're gonna take them over. That's
So let's so let's stop right here then. Right. So the first, I wouldn't say the first tenet of fascism is being proud of your country or wanting your country to, even ultra being so country first, right? I would say that it's power entrenchment, right? Through one party rule. Okay. Isn't that what fascists do?
that's
They hold
authoritarianism.
power.
So fascism is a type of politics, not a form of government.
So classical fascistic literatures often describe centralized power first.
So Trump doing unitary executive theory. Trump doing unitary
if we can't agree
theory,
on what it is, then there's no point.
But you're talking about power and types of government structure, and this is powerful and continuing nationalism. So the thing Trump wants y'all to feel and the way y'all behave, that is part of it. This is a sign of it. Disdain for recognition of human rights. So for the last few months,
before we move on, before we go on, let's take these one point at a time.
Okay.
We agree that power is central here in fascism.
Why are you talking about this centralized power when we're going by the tenet of nationalism?
We're talking about fascism.
Okay, and we're talking about the tenets of fascism. Why are you talking about government structure?
So fascistic governments, right? Classical fascistic indicators are centralized power. That's pretty much number one.
Yes, and Trump has that going on.
Okay, so we agree. Let's right here. So power entrenchment, okay, through one party rule. That this is structural control. Okay, and so fascistic systems thrive where power becomes self-reinforcing and insulated from meaningful opposition.
That's the end goal, right? So the type of politics that you engage in to get to get to that point.
So what
is
evidence?
This.
What evidence? Go ahead.
The type of politics that you engage in to get to that point is this. These tenets right here is how they obtain that power. Okay. This is how they come and they tell you and they yank you around by the nose and they make you obsessed with national security and they make you hate people and all this stuff. We're going to go through that list, okay? And that's how they achieve centralized power. They make you scared. They make you feel great. They do all the things so that they can justify clawing all the power from the federal government and the courts and the judges like Trump has done and practice unitary executive theory like is literally written in Project 2025, the thing Trump is doing play by play.
All right, so you made a lot of claims there, and you didn't really give any evidence for any of those claims. But if you allow me to make a kind of structured and thoughtful point here, it'll take maybe 2 minutes. So we agreed that power entrenchment is a huge part of fascism. And so the claim that I'm trying to make is that these systems thrive where power becomes this self-reinforcing and insulated form of meaningful opposition. And the evidence that I will bring to the table is California. So the Democratic supermajorities in both legislative chambers and the Democrats hold on every statewide executive office, the regulatory agencies and commissions dominated by one party, the long-running policy failures persist regardless of elections. So if voters cannot realistically change policy direction, what role do elections actually serve?
All right. What you're alluding to is that democracy is broken and you need just somebody to just take the reins. What you're saying?
No. I just asked you a very simple question. I said, if voters can't change policy direction, what role do elections actually serve? And does that point to entrenched power?
Okay, we live in a democratic republic, so we elect people to make these decisions for us. That's how.
Okay, but at what point does democratic dominance become democratic irreversibility?
I don't know, but you don't get to start making up rules and grabbing more power because you just California is a very successful state. So
So
I would hope so.
is it a fascistic state?
No.
So if one party controls the legislation, enforcement, and regulation, and where's the check
By
on the
vote.
power supposed to come from? By vote.
So
But
so
if
so California has Congress, right? They have lawmakers.
is
They
it
have checks
defined
and
by the ability to vote,
balances.
or is it defined by the
So
ability to
you
remove
want
those in charge?
you want a direct democracy. That's not what we're part of. So your grievances with not being part of a direct democracy doesn't mean you get to do fascist or like authoritarian stuff.
Right. So exactly. But why, like gerrymandering? Isn't that
Yes.
like a fascistic type of right?
So
And we had
fascism
Texas do it, and California has done it.
fascism again is not just the act of like gaining power and having centralized power. That's not what you're. That's not
Gaining
what
power.
fascism.
No, it's
You're conflating.
entrenching yourself in
You're
it.
conflating fascism and authoritarianism. Okay, fascism is the means and the way that they present themselves in politics. Okay, this is what he's doing to control you, so that he can do all this stuff you're scared about.
See, so what happening right here is a little bit fascistic because you want to suppress what is like politically inconvenient information that's politically inconvenient to you right here, because California is a clear example of a fascistic style of governance in California where they have designed the districts. And even though evidence shows that citizens in this country were pretty much split at 43% Republican and Democrat, yet we see year after year after election where districts don't represent those numbers. And so by design, why is that happening?
Okay, so again, it's not fascism. Like if they did that and all 13 other things like in this list, that's fascism. Okay.
Okay, all right, let's move on to the next one. What's the next tenet?
Okay, disdain for recognition of human rights. So we've got Trump dehumanizing people constantly in his messaging to y'all, talking about people poisoning the blood of our country, people having bad genes, literally just Hitler quotes, calling them vermin, another Hitler quote, saying that they're rapists and killers. Some might be good people. Saying all of these things, and also saying how they're coming here and it's an invasion. And so this has allowed people to do the same thing with trans people. We're like at the third stage of a trans genocide because of Trump, but basically he's talked about these people in such a way where you think about them in a lesser way, and I have to debate y'all on whether or not they even get due process. So for like 8 months, I've had to debate whether or not they even get to go to court before they're sent to jail for the rest of their lives. And it's enshrined in our Constitution, but no one seems to care.
All right, so let me make sure I understood you correctly there. So because somebody disagrees with somebody's personal lifestyle choices, they're therefore fascistic. So I'll move on to my second point.
No, that's
Did I
not
get
what
that
I
correctly?
said. No, I said
Okay,
that
well, give a
people were
brief
saying,
summary, and then I'll go on to my point.
there's a type of person who has fewer human rights, and that's what I explained to you. That's what y'all's whole side has been chanting. That's what Trump's been saying. That's what Charlie Kirk said. That's what everybody's been trying to say, holding hands together, saying that that migrants do not have due process. They have fewer rights. Same with trans people.
All right, so using dehumanizing language, fascistic.
Yes,
Okay,
that's
I'll go on
a
to my
tenet
point.
of fascism. Yes.
All right, I'll go into my second tenet. My second tenet of fascism is the suppression of politically inconvenient information. And so fascism suppresses truth, not by banning speech like what you're trying to advocate for outright, but by coordinating silence at defensive or decisive moments. And so Hunter Biden's laptop was a major platform, it was a major platforms blocked sharing weeks before an election. This was justified as misinformation and hacked materials, and the laptop later confirmed was authentic. The FBI
what
had
crimes
possession
were there?
prior to suppression.
What crimes did they find?
Acted after government briefings, and so if true information is suppressed to protect democracy, who decides which truths voters are allowed to know, and how is an informed electorate possible if facts are filtered for political safety? When does protecting voters become managing voters?
So the same thing happened with Trump and Stormy Daniels. Same exact thing, right? We didn't know about his relationship with Stormy Daniels. He paid to keep it hush. So we're even right there, right? So now we have to talk about what happens, what things are being set in place to do this on a mass scale. And that's what Trump is doing. Trump has got a guy named Brandon Carr in the FCC, and Brandon Carr wrote the part of Project 2025 about the FCC, and they have specifically been harassing people. And you've seen news channel after news channel bend a knee at the threat of being harassed and having their media rights and licenses taken away. That is fascism. Trump also doing this and making colleges bend to his political will. Based on the things they're saying about Israel. It's actually also directly in Project 2025 that they will suppress any sort of bad, stuff about Israel, and they also do a lot of like anti-Muslim propaganda. Like people always say, there's like Sharia law is coming or something here in the United States or here in Texas. Same thing with the people in doing the fraud, the Somalis. So Trump is also trying to. This goes into tenet number 3: unifying cause, scapegoats. So like Nancy Pelosi, immigrants, Hunter Biden's laptop. There were no crimes that Hunter Biden committed, right, in that laptop. It was just misinformation. It's just something for us to cry about. There's a whole movie on it. You can watch it. It's called From Russia with Lev, and is the person who was tasked with investigating the Hunter Biden laptop. He went to Ukraine. He actually wore a selfie camera the whole time. It's great. You can watch the whole video, and he tells you exactly how it happens and how it was all misinformation. He was the person who was in charge of this. You can go watch it. It was pure misinformation. It was Trump trying to give us a distraction. And the fact that Trump literally just pardoned Devin Archer, that person tasked with testifying, if Hunter Biden's business partner, Trump pardoned him. We just read this. He just pardoned him. So obviously there was nothing there, and that is what a common enemy like fascism looks like. They point to people like Fauci and all these people. You don't know the crimes they've committed, but they're definitely criminals, and you guys are looking for crimes they committed. So like Letitia James, like we've seen 2 grand juries come back and say there is nothing to look out here. We are not pressing charges. And we've even had prosecutors drop the case like a hot potato because they don't want to fucking anything to do with it. That is what open corruption looks like, and identification of enemies and scapegoats.
I'll check out that video if you want to send it to me. But go ahead.
It's a movie. It's on Netflix or YouTube.
All right, so I'm going to go on to number 3. Right, we've got this state and corporate fusion happening, and so fascism merges state authority with private institutions to enforce compliance without constitutional accountability. And where the evidence is we have ongoing coordination between federal agencies and tech companies that they have requests to flag and throttle and remove content. Targets included COVID dissent and election criticism, not no due process, transparency, or appeals for citizens. And so, if the government cannot censor speech directly, can it outsource censorship and still claim innocence? And when private companies enforce government preferences, is that private action or state power by proxy, right? And then how does a citizen defend free speech when the censor has no official badge, right? If this isn't censorship, then what would qualify as censorship to you?
So I would like to see somewhere where these companies were threatened and where these people were making decisions under duress. We have no evidence of that. We have them saying, and I don't know why a government would not do this. If Russia is coming out here making people take anti-parasitic medicine and shit their pants, I definitely would like to at least try to say, hey, can you guys do something so that people aren't drinking bleach like Trump asked them to or whatever? I think that's a given. I don't think that's fascism. We can also now see that every bit of that was a misinformation, that the COVID vaccine was safe and effective and it was the right thing to do, and that Republicans died at a 15% higher rate because of this rhetoric. So I don't know if you want the right to hear all that, I guess that's fine. But I think Trump has literally been doing this by force, using the federal government and attacking his political enemies with executive order. He took away law firms' abilities to visit federal buildings and effectively put them out of business if they didn't give him hundreds of free hours of legal work. Same thing with Harvard. They wanted him to adhere to like non-DEI policies, all that stuff, at the threat of being defunded. These are all very fascist things. Also, Trump has in his in his proposals for running for president, I can bring him up. He has literal plans in there to stop certain types of people with certain types of beliefs from coming into this country, whether it be economic or religious beliefs. He wants to do thought policing at the border. He also wants to fire people from our military based on their political beliefs, and that is the biggest infringement on First Amendment right I've ever heard of.
So if you want, I could send you that evidence, but only if you want it. And then could you move that off the screen so I can see the whole screen?
Like, you want me to zoom in or just move the whole thing?
Yeah, like, move it up to the side so I can see what people are saying. There we go. All right. So number 3, right? Or I'm sorry, I think I'm on number 4 now. So
supremacy of the military. Trump in his first administration dumped $2.2 trillion extra dollars in the military, and then he did a military parade on his way into office this time. He's dumping even more money into the military, giving them even more money, and he's also, I don't know, he's got a really weird guy running the military right now.
all right, so I'm kind of recenter us here, right? This is about methods and outcomes, right?
Mhm.
Methods and outcomes, not motives. And so, when we're talking about fascism, I want to blend the emergency rule that were put in place like during COVID as a governing model. So fascism systems normalize emergency powers that expand quickly and
That's what Trump's
retract
doing too.
slowly, if at all. So the evidence is that the COVID governance, we have executive orders reshaped legislatures. There was selective closures. Small businesses were shut down. Large corporations were exempted, and criminalization of peaceful assembly, of worship. This extended emergency declarations long after peak conditions. And so this is judicial deference to executive authority. And this matters because emergency logic dissolves normal limits.
Okay.
Citizens
This is what I'm going to say.
become
This is what I'm gonna
subjects
say.
for their own good. Power gained in crisis becomes baseline authority. Fascism
Okay.
does not require violence; it requires exception becoming the norm.
I
That's
got
what
that.
has happened.
All right, I'm gonna debate you on that. So there was actual emergency during that time. We had a 9/11 every single day. So if that's not an emergency, I don't know what is. 1.2 million people died, and we had people not believing in science as a whole. So I don't know. I think that a novel virus does constitute an emergency, but we do have Trump. He has been using the war invasion law of like 1700 something, and courts have already fought him on whether or not there is an invasion or an emergency. He's doing the same thing with the with ICE and deportations, and this is something that Bukele has also kind of, I think, taught him to continue. Well, also probably. His best friend. He's best friends with all the dictators, so he literally just dips into the playbook all the time. Viktor Orban is probably the closest version of Trump we have in dictators. But I think that Trump champions and looks up to these people, and it's very obvious.
Okay. So on this particular point, right, I think this is where we really get you guys, because this ideological enforcement over natural law, right? And so fascism replaces this equal law, this natural law, with this ideological sorting, right, that we've done a lot of in some of our discussions. And so the differential protest enforcement, where there's leniency for favored movements and then aggressive policing of disfavored ones.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Where
Trump pardoning all the J6ers.
I have a very short point here. Will you just let me make this point? So,
okay.
Charging decisions influenced by political context and narrative framing, where public officials, explicitly minimize crimes aligned with preferred causes. So, rule of law depends on predictability. When enforcement depends on an ideology, citizens start
give me an
self-censoring, compliance replaces consent, and then justice just becomes conditional. And this is happening big time in the debates that I see about Renee Good. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I again, this is obviously Trump. Fuck, I just blanked out. Hi, Silico.
Hi. So, yeah, we're seeing this regarding the debates regarding Renee Good, where it's blatantly obvious that this poor woman was stepping aside from that murderer, and that murderer that was not being attacked because you know from the video that came out of his own cell phone that
Yeah.
you are not going to call a bitch to someone that is quote unquote attacking you.
I don't want to get
Eh,
into that whole debate right now, but I would obviously say that in regards to that, like Trump and JD Vance have already come out and given him full immunity, but he's also I just went through this whole wiki of Trump pardoning nothing but people who do horrible fraud and Bitcoin scams. It goes on and on. It's real bad. But he also pardoned all the J6ers who, up until he pardoned them, I thought they were all FBI agents and Antifa. But he is definitely for his flavor of domestic terrorism, which is 70% of all of the violence domestically here in regards to terrorism. So he wants to highlight all of the instances of like Charlie Kirk and yada yada yada, but not talk about Melissa Hortman and her husband and all of the overwhelmingly majority of these people that are doing this in the name of the politics he's actually pushing. We had somebody storm an FBI building and die by suicide by cop because of the things he's espoused. But then we have J.D. Vance saying that this poor woman was radicalized by a politician saying X, Y, and Z. But I don't think you need to hear anything. We don't have any politicians in power saying anything misleading. We simply don't like police states.
And so I think we're having a conversation here about fascism, and I find it
So yeah,
interesting.
what do you have when all the people from one party are complying with the dissolution of the leader of said party instead of listening to the actual experts and looking at the blatant obvious evidence?
So I'm gonna try in my best here to keep the conversation on topic, but also address your point. So
I am on topic.
this is well. Can I make a point without being interrupted, please?
But
Thank
don't
you. So-
say that I'm not on topic, because I am.
So our original topic was fascism, and then when I talked about
Yes, I
ideological,
am asking you what is happening
moderator,
when
can
the
you please mute?
politicians of that party comply with the leader instead of listening to the experts.
Are you done speaking so that I can begin my response to you, or do you have more things to say?
What is happening when the political leaders comply with a blatant lie instead of listening to the experts?
I don't really understand what point you're trying to make or question that you're asking me, but allow me to finish, please. So this is a topic here that has stirred up this chat, this person right here, this conversation. So this is an ideological enforcement that's trying to happen here. This is what I was just talking about. And we believe in free speech. You can say what you want. This is an American principle here, right? So we when we're talking about fascism, we want to avoid, or Republicans and conservatives, it's more important to them the outcome, and to blatantly or so quickly, without all of the facts on the floor, without all of the evidence, right? This is a tragedy. This is a tragedy, and nobody thinks
Dude,
otherwise. And anybody that says so
I'm
otherwise is
gonna
being
interrupt you for
disingenuous.
30 seconds. So why is not a single Republican that is following the Orange Man denying what the Orange Man is saying? Why none of them have their own opinions?
What did the orange men say? What do you want me to deny?
There is one Republican in the Senate who has turned on him. Has turned on this. It is a Republican who's spoken
See,
out
it's,
about this.
and it seems like you want to regulate my speech and force me to say something. Is that true?
You just said that it's compliance, not having freedom of speech, not having freedom of thought.
So you want to
We have
enforce your
one
ideology upon
situation
me?
here where blatantly what happened was a murder. And you have all of the Republicans repeating the stupidity that Trump is saying.
So I'm happy to have this debate about Renee Good, when we're done with this fascism topic.
I'm not debating
and Pickles, if you want to do that, I'd be happy to come
Renee
up.
Good
But
was
can we
murdered by
finish this
that
fascism
piece
debate,
of shit.
Pickles?
I don't know. I will
Or
say
do you
that
want to run to
your
this?
your questions have validity, but they're just rhetorical. So it's not. I don't know. It's not
and
like
and
stirring
this
the
here,
conversation.
you guys want to punish conservatives, which was going to be my next tenet for fascism, right? There's cultural and economical punishment for dissent, for having an opposing claim, where fascisms want to enforce conformity through
It's
these
from the top
economic
down.
and reputational penalties, right? Not just
That's
law,
from the
right?
top down.
And law in courts, right? They look at evidence, right? So
What happened? What
when it
happened
comes
when
to evidence,
Marjorie Taylor Greene
there's backlash for political speech,
dissented Trump
institutional
on the Epstein
exclusion from
files?
universities, media platforms, professional
Dude,
networks, debanking, and financial services
See,
denial
if this
tied
was
to
systemic,
views,
dude,
right?
dude,
There's no
what
trial yet.
happened?
hold on,
There's
hold on.
no appeal
Silico, I
yet.
love you.
There's no formal law violated. Right?
JB,
This is social coercion
what you're talking
masquerading
about
as accountability.
Okay, but the thing you're missing is the government would have to be doing this for it to be authoritative. If organically society is canceling people, by the way, the Republicans started it with the Dixie Chicks, not us. That's a different thing, right? So if Trump had Hitler's right hand man Goebbels go and I don't know, like defund Harvard because it's a liberal university and they don't like the idea of DEI and they want to start censoring DEI and stopping private companies from practicing that, that would be a systemic way of silencing opposition and silencing and also systemically like whitewashing history and using Prager University as a learning as an academic tool for these like schools in Florida and shit, like putting Bibles in the classrooms. This is a systemic thing you're talking about. But if people as a public, not a political figure, do this, that's not fascism.
In fact, I have one very specific question to you, dude. What happened to Marjorie Taylor Greene the moment that she dissented from Trump regarding the Epstein files?
Well, people disagreed with her. Is that okay to disagree?
No, but now she's
Not
a rhino.
only people.
Like she's a rhino now. Anybody who dissents, like Adam Kinzinger, what's her name, the daughter of Dick Cheney, Liz Cheney, even the fucking like leaders of your party, Mitt Romney, like all these people dissented. Now they're rhinos.
Isn't being able to agree very American? Isn't that idea very like? So why should I suppress that and then bring morality into the question to as a way to silence these people? That's what we disagree with.
Yeah, nobody should be able to like. I don't worry about morality being carried out by society. I care about Trump influencing morality and demonizing types of people, othering types of people, and then using that to pairing that messaging with harmful laws like anti-trans laws, 500 anti-LGBTQ bills last year. That's what that looks like. That's systemic.
And we can disagree on those things, and that's why people vote. And when the people vote for a platform and an agenda,
should we be able to vote to force you to wear wool sweaters every single day of the year against
Are you an
your
imperialist? You want to force people? Like, so I want people to be able to choose what they do and what they don't do.
I
why
agree.
Why are you for laws that force people to take choices that they don't want to take?
Well, if the will of the people is to elect a man that's running on a platform that includes these things, then nobody's forcing anything.
No, that is force. That is so. If you use legislation for social norms, that's literally what George Orwell wrote about. That's what y'all are doing.
But if it's the will of the people,
it's always the will of the people. If they trick you into saying it's the will of the people, that's still fascism.
You suddenly felt very bad the moment that I say, how about we make the will of the people that we force JBMV to wear wool sweaters every single day of the year for the rest of his life?
Fascism, fascism is the will of the people. When Hitler was doing fascism, the people loved it. They loved it. Okay, they voted for this stuff. They wanted to keep it. They cherished it. Okay, it doesn't make it not fascism.
All right, so then I'm not going to go ahead and I'm going to go on to my next tenet since we're back to fascism. Okay, so comparative perspectives, right? This is necessary classification. So Republicans have authoritarian impulses, right? I'm conceding some of these ideas that you're talking about. January 6th was criminal and prosecutable, right? But Republican authoritarianism is episodic, visible, contestable, right? Democratic authoritarianism is institutional, it's cultural, and it's normalized. Let me finish.
No.
Fascism is not a riot, it's control that survives scrutiny.
Who's actively campaigning to diminish women's rights? Who's actively campaigning to control LGBTQ people?
Who's writing legislation for cultural reasons, like only two genders? That's literally a social construct. Legislating genders is right. It's literally that.
Who's
let me expand on this
literally
thing. You're asking me
inserting
a question, and let me
themselves
expand.
into the women's uterus?
So fascistic systems enforce conformity through economic and reputational coercion, not only statutes. So job loss for political speech, blacklisting from professional spaces, deplatforming without due process.
You have to tie this to a
financial
person.
service.
Tie this to a person.
Financial service denial tied to views. So if dissent costs you your livelihood, is speech truly
JB,
free?
you have to tie this to a person and an idea. You can't. That's not
Marjorie
fascism.
Taylor Greene was literally
it's
pushed
systemic. That's
out
why.
of Congress
Because you want to
is suffering unaliving threats just because she dissented.
No, this would be fascism. Okay, if fuck, I just lost it. If we wrote laws and forced you guys to do that stuff, that would be fascism. But if I rose to power and I started saying over and over and over again, like if you say something mean to gay people, you're a horrible person. If I just said this over and over and over again, and you should be fired and all this stuff, and then I got people just really fired up about that, and then that movement just roared and skyrocketed, that would be fascistic. But nobody's doing that. This is just the will of the people. You can see this across the world, and it's not just one person's idea trying to control the masses. This is people saying, hey, the harmful rhetoric you're using, you can see in past, it's historically used to suppress people, and things like Trump has said has been used to dehumanize people, like we've seen Hitler do, and the will of the people slowly turns violent, just like you. That's what fascism is.
In fact, let's compare the two sides. Democrats can be resumed in one very simple phrase: don't be a dick to others. That's it. Republicans, if you're a woman, you have to stay in the house, you have to be barefoot and pregnant, you have to accept that you might be in abusive situations that you will never be able to leave. If you're an LGBTQ, you're better unalived or hiding for the rest of your life because we don't want to see you. If you are an immigrant, we're gonna torture you for life. We're gonna make you work like hell for life. Or we're gonna basically abuse you the hell of every time of life. If you're not a Christian, we're gonna torture you for the rest of your life. It's like, see the difference? Don't be a dick. And if you're anything but an American Christian man, you will lose your privileges.
I just saw Elon Musk retweet something that was very plainly white supremacist. And if I owned a company and he worked for me, I would immediately fire him, because I wouldn't want that type of person representing my business. I would immediately lose revenue. I would lose customers if I kept that person on. And I like maybe all of the people of color would say, hey, fuck that business. And I would just go broke. That's why this is a thing. It's not because some person had a novel idea to cancel everybody who said mean stuff. That's just a thing now.
We're just telling you, hey, just don't be a dick to others.
Okay, so thank you guys for that. And I guess it makes me a dick that I just sat here and allowed you guys to speak uninterrupted. But I was making my last point when I was interrupted, and I'm going to go ahead and finish my point here, and then I'll go ahead and sign off and allow somebody else to come up. So, so I'm trying to acknowledge. I was trying to acknowledge the comparative perspective that we don't share, and I'll acknowledge again that Republicans have authoritarian impulses. January 6th was criminal and prosecutable. Right, the distinction between the two authoritarian systems is Republicans are episodic and visible and contestable.
What's authoritarian
and so democratic
don't be a dick?
authoritarianism is institutional, cultural, and normalized.
But you
so
can't.
the rhetorical questions that I'm going to ask you,
What's
and please just
authoritarian
let me
in
walk
me
through them,
saying to you,
and I'm
hey,
going to
don't
finish
be
my
a dick?
point, and then I'm going to go ahead and sign off and let you guys continue the conversation. But is fascism defined by chaos or by control that survives scrutiny? And which is more
Chaos.
dangerous, a failed power grab or successful quiet governance? And do institutions matter less than intentions? Which party shapes media, platforms, academia, and bureaucracy? So the last thing I'll say is modern
The right.
fascism does not announce itself. Okay, it administers, it coordinates, it flags, it justifies. And when one party controls institutions, filters information,
It's the
and
right that
delegates
controls the
censorships,
institutions, dude.
governed by permanent crisis, enforces ideology socially
Crises that
and
were
economically,
generated by
the question is no
right-wingers.
longer whether power exists, but who is allowed to challenge it. If authority decides what
Mhm.
you may say, what you may know, how long emergencies last, and
The
whether dissent
authority
costs you
from
your
your side of the
livelihood,
government
what
doesn't want
exactly
me
is
to have
left
a
by
voice,
liberty.
dude.
And gosh, this woman just cannot not interrupt. She just cannot allow me to
You
speak
keep
uninterrupted. So
yapping
thank you
pure
guys for
bullshit.
letting me come up on this platform. I appreciate you, Pickles. God bless you guys. Love y'all. Take care.
Take it easy.
And you're very weak.
None of this stuff is systemic. I ask MAGA every day. The people who are like, oh, they're coming after our kids. They're trying to do this LGBTQ stuff with our kids. Name me a bill where we did this and institutionalized this. He keeps alluding to the fact we institutionalized this. No, society's just at a place now where we can see these things and point out that they're wrong. And we have the internet and we can all hold each other accountable. This is not institutional. This is not systemic. This is not one person who put these pieces into play. We didn't set the stage for this. This is literally just where we are as a society. So that's not fascism. No matter where you go in the world, you're gonna have a hint of that. No matter what power is in place, that's not fascism. And by the way, you have to have all of these 14 tenets to be a fascist, and we didn't even get through half of them. But all of these so far, I mean, 10 out of 10. They meet 10 out of 10. All these tenets.
It's serious. And for all of the MAGAs, before I drop back down again, if you guys think that MAGAs are the party of children, I can actually say that it's nearly established that because of MAHA and the stupidity of RFK Jr., that America is about to lose the elimination status for measles, because during the 2025 there have been 52 outbreaks of measles because RFK Jr. is spreading gigantic amounts of misinformation regarding vaccinations. Therefore, the elimination status of measles is about to be lost. A whole bunch of kids, because it's kids that are most at risk for all of these diseases, will be hurt, like severely hurt. And the rest of the world, I'm a part of one of such public health institutions, is looking and is preparing to take measures, namely starting to demand a bunch of receipts for vaccination before people travel into the country. That's how much dangerous it is. Until now, an American citizen in a big part of the world did not have to show receipts for vaccination before entering the country. It's about to become a reality for you guys, because that's how much of a risk it's posing.
Thank you, Silico. We love you.
And I will drop back down because I need to rest. You're
All right.
awesome, Pickles.
Take it easy.
Drop me down.
Yellow. Yellow. We lost a guest while she was finishing up. Chat, if you're a Trump supporter, you want to debate, hop in the box. Da, 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 da. 8% to your Democrat Party, dirty money. Dude, nothing. nothing will put the two dots together. Like Trump was best friends with Epstein, and him sending emails to people doesn't really do what you think it does. Trump was best friends.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you like about Trump?
I like his geopolitical moves. I don't like his domestic moves, but I think it's overall kind of working out.
Kind of working out. Didn't he
Yeah.
say like he was going to be the like no new wars president?
Yeah. Hyperbole. You got to lie to the people. Okay.
He lied.
And you know, so Obama said the same shit, and he threw drones all over the Middle East. Okay. So let's you know drop
Trump increased those drone strikes 450%.
Over Obama.
Yeah.
All right, but the rhetoric is the same, right? Right, like you say you're not going to do one thing, and then you do it because once you get in office, you realize things are a little bit different, right? So right?
Yeah, you just say everything you can to get elected. That's the rules. Got it.
Yeah, is essentially yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe in that. I believe that I believe that you say whatever you need to say to get elected into office. Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah,
because that's the
fascism.
only way.
Fascism.
No, it's not. Obama did it. Every single president does that. Okay.
I think there's like a reasonable like promises you can make. Like Trump saying he's going to end all these wars in one day and like lower gas prices and make things affordable, and then coming out and say that's a hoax, that affordability is a Democrat hoax, and that you better take like how are we supposed to make decisions on what president to choose if you could just lie? Just outright. Taxes, tariffs are a tax on foreign country. That's a lie. Everyone thought they were signing up for no new taxes, but he went out here and just threw taxes on everybody.
But here's the thing: those like let's just say is hyperbole that he said beforehand, right? It sticks, right? Does it not?
Yeah,
right?
it's
Because
catchy.
That's his base. Well, that's his base that allows him to pass other legislation that we probably
He's not
need.
really a legislation president. Like he passed almost nothing in his first term.
Okay, fair. Yeah. Okay, fair point. I'll agree with you there. But he has done some good, right? Like we got the Venezuela situation resolved, right?
Resolved.
Yes, resolved. I think he's probably going a little bit too far with other things. Greenland, I think, is a little bit too far. But like,
that's really bad. That's like, I am scared. Like, yeah, I really wish Kamala was president right now.
I think it's a political move where he's threatening Greenland, because if you threaten Greenland, that means some place like Nicaragua is much easier to do.
What?
Right?
Dude, Greenland's an ally.
No. My point being is, if you threaten Greenland, then someplace like Venezuela is much easier. Like, I don't think that he has any intentions of actually going after Greenland.
This is like after he's already wrapping up Venezuela.
I know, but the rhetoric, right?
So what you're pointing to is obvious fascisms, right? So what he does is he pairs messaging with things he's gonna do. So like, Somalis are invading the country, and then he does like crazy legislation, just like fucking up the Somali community or something. Like that's what he does. And you're like, yeah, I like that. He just has to do things, and some of it's good.
Hold up. I didn't say I like that. What I like is the rhetoric that pushes agenda. Okay. Yes, I like that, because you know what? I've been seeing presidents not do shit for fucking years because they can't push through their agenda. This guy is like, hold up. He comes into office. He's like, I don't give a fuck about that. You know what? I'm gonna do what I want to do, and you know what? Let's argue it in courts for fucking 40 years, and I'm gonna do what I want to do, and yeah. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, that's,
you know what?
Authoritarianism, dictatorship.
No. Look. We can argue whether I agree, on certain points, whether it's right or wrong. But I like that he's pushing his agenda.
That's generally what people feel when they're for a dictator. So generally, they're it's just too kind of annoying to follow the laws. It's a matter of national security. Things are so bad. We just got to start breaking rules.
Dude.
We got to start consolidating power in the executive branch because it's just too hard and annoying to go through like government. And then we got to strip all the power away from the people that stop Trump from doing whatever the fuck he wants to do.
Pickles, if Biden did it, I would have probably agreed with him, but he just didn't have the mojo to do it.
Biden did more. He was the most productive president we've had in like 30 years. So
I know, but he went through the whole government. He went, oh hey, let's do it.
Long, meaningful, lasting legislation.
We'll agree with it. Let's do it. Let's get all our politicians. Let's debate. Let's do all that shit. And then you know what? Yeah, slowly we got progress. But Trump in 1 year, in one fucking year, this guy is just like, hey, I want to do this. We're gonna fucking do it. And you know what? We'll deal with illegal repercussions afterwards.
He's going a million miles an hour doing everything. We have no idea what he's doing. He's made so much money. And you're just like, I see motion. I like it. No, dude, he is doing so much stuff behind the scenes. You have no idea what's going on, and he's making us all fight. We're on the verge of a civil fucking war. He's perpetuating horrible talking points and like polarizing the masses and highlighting instances of violence that are convenient for him for political points and ignoring the ones that y'all are doing. He is literally just doing exactly what is fascism. And you're just describing it and saying you like it.
No. There was a void that he filled, okay? And that void could have been filled by anyone else, but nobody had the mojos to actually.
It just takes a bunch of balls. It takes a bunch of balls to break the law.
Yeah, it does. It does, dude. Honestly, it does. Like, I know it sounds ridiculous. I know it sounds foolish. It sounds foolish. I get you. I understand that. No, I understand you, but like that's what it fucking that's what it takes, dude, to get there.
No, like every president up until now has done just fine with all that, without all of that.
To push your senators or anyone who's on your side to push legislation that you want to enact, he does that. Have you watched Succession?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't push legislation.
Yeah, yes, he doesn't because he doesn't need to, dude.
Yeah, because he acts like a dictator. He runs his
executive order. No. Okay, and what do people in Congress and Senate act like then? If he can push it through like a dictator, what the fuck do? They don't do shit, right?
Yeah, they're on his payroll.
No, what the? No, they're on the American payroll. First, sorry.
No, they're all backed by Trump. He funded all of their campaigns. If they didn't like Trump, he primaried them and funded their opponent. Yeah,
I was getting a little bit worked up, but look, dude, if he's able to do that, right, then we have a whole government, right? We have three. We have the Congress, we have the Senate, right?
Yeah,
and.
That's one branch.
What are they doing? Nothing.
They write laws. Notoriously, actually, last year was the slowest Congress has ever moved in the history of the United States. I think there was like 28 bills passed, and usually we average like 170. And it was Republicans who were in control. Notoriously, they were sitting on their hands to try not to give any political points to our side. That is also how polarized Trump has made the parties. So, like, they're at a standstill because we are so divided because of Trump, because you either believed and pushed the election lie or you hate trans people.
But a lot.
Like, that's it.
I don't want to talk about trans people first, but yes, I see what you're saying. But, like, also, the point that I'm trying to make is that, like, he can push through change without having to enact legislation, because legislation is kind of
can do it unchecked.
Slow.
I don't like that.
Slow, and we don't. Yeah, I agree
like
with you,
when everybody has their hands in and says, "Hey, Trump, since you're fucking really stupid probably don't have all of the best ideas, maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe we should do it this way or this way." That's how government works.
But when everyone puts their hands in, it takes fucking decades to get anything done.
That's not true. Biden got plenty done.
What?
Biden historically got plenty with a razor thin majority. So you just have to do things that are agreeable, and when they're not so agreeable, is when you have to do what you're saying.
But here's the thing, like here's a problem that I have, right? your side, right? You have a whole bunch of political operatives that didn't do shit, right?
What do you mean they didn't do shit?
Hold up, I'm getting there. Trump found a whole bunch of fucking loopholes in our government that we didn't even know existed. First of all, like,
and he's using them.
Yeah, he is, and and he is for better or worse. But like, we don't what the fuck have Democrats have done in any the closest that we've ever gone, or that Democrats have ever gotten to that, is Obama drone striking. That's the closest we ever gotten.
What, dude? Trump did 450% more drone strikes.
No, but the point that I'm making is that how do you say? How do I put this? Looking through the legalities of what a president is allowed to do, and exacerbating it,
the problem
to the benefit.
So in every case where this happens, where authoritarians take control of a government, this is what they do. They take over, they look at all of the loopholes and all of the weaknesses, and they get attorneys to draw up ways to find ways out, and that's exactly what he's done, and you're cheering him on, and he's giving you the right messaging so that you like it. And that's exactly how dictators work every time. Okay? Every time.
Well, look, here's the thing. There's only one way that the U.S. would not be okay with pushing the lever, right? It's if they don't have a job. Is that fair to say?
What?
Like, people will not be okay with certain things if they don't have a job. Is that okay to say?
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
What I mean, like, you can kind of push the lever a little bit more and more until people are not employed. Is that fair to say? Like, do you not understand what I'm saying, dude? Nobody's gonna do shit unless if you have a job, you gotta wake up in the morning, you gotta fucking go to work. You can't be outside protesting, right?
Protesting's in the Constitution. You should be proud to do it. And
okay, but you gotta
criticize
fucking
the
go to
government.
your job, right? You gotta go to your job, right?
Yeah, you can do both, right?
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Yeah, you can. I
Not
went
if
to
you-
I
no,
protested.
no, you can't.
It wasn't on a
If
work
you
day
work-
for me.
Okay, if you work a 9 to 5, you can't.
Now, protests are usually like on a Saturday, man.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
No, it's all right. Sometimes it is.
They plan for that.
Occasionally, sure. Okay, but anyway, dude. Point that I'm trying to make is that Trump has found a lot of loopholes in our government system that we didn't know existed, right? And he utilized them, and I'll give him credit. Like, he found them, he implemented them, and I'm kind of really disappointed that the Democratic Party didn't do any of these things.
Didn't abuse
Why?
power?
Because hold up. I didn't say abuse power, right? I didn't say that. No, no.
You're mad that they didn't abuse power and find all the cracks
no.
and hit all the guardrails on the way out of office.
No, dude, I'm mad that they didn't study the fucking law or Constitution or whatever the fuck they had to study, and didn't implement their will as they wanted. Because Republicans are doing it, and look, me personally, I'm not impacted that much by. Let
me guess, you're a white straight man.
I'm not fucking white. First of all,
what are you?
Why are you saying that? Why do you say I'm straight? I am straight, but why are you saying that?
Because usually people with extreme privilege don't really care about politics. It doesn't affect you that much.
Why do you say that's privilege, dude?
I don't know. You seem to speak perfect English. That's a great privilege to have. People of color obviously have systemic issues here in this country. Trump is making sure of that, but go off.
No, look, unfortunately, I understand what you're saying. I get you on that point because I'm around people that face those hardships. Okay, but I still think that his overall agenda is helping us. I think the whole ICE thing is fucked up, and I think ICE as a whole should be gone. But I think it's creating opportunities for people. Like I don't know. That's what I think.
As funeral home directors?
No, dude, don't go that far. Come on.
What do you mean?
I think that like it's first of all, I think it's first of all, Americans wanted something to be done about immigration, right?
Yeah, because Trump
that's why
he got them amped for 10 years and screamed about it, screamed lies and slandered immigrants for 10 years. Yeah, people might want mass deportation after that, just like any other time some dictator has tricked their constituents into doing it.
But there's a multiple countries that are now also being like, hey, let's look at our
They are looking at
right?
effective political campaigns, and they're going, "Dang, we should do that." They even print. They have other countries
And it's
doing the red
working for
hats.
other countries, right?
Yes,
It's working
yes.
for other
They are
countries,
saying,
yeah.
"Hey, look at this fascist rhetoric that's working." It's not even the case that it's even if the country has no immigration problems, they can do this, and it's working. Same thing with the trans thing. If they attack trans people and constantly say that their other party wants trans people in bathrooms, and that party has to figure out how to not be mean to trans people, and also say that they didn't say that,
But then
that's what
counter it,
they're
dude.
doing,
Like, look. I'm a independent. Like, I believe in both sides. But like, if you're gonna attack, like, let's say one side attacks trans people, right? 1% of people, right? I think, like, me personally, don't really give a fuck. But like, then what? Like, why doesn't the Democratic side attack 1% of I don't know,
Because that's
Republican side?
fascism. That's called the common enemy. Did you know that Jews were 1% of Germany?
No, why don't you attack people who fucking chew tobacco?
Because it's
Like,
fucking fascism, dude. Did you know that Jews were 1% of Germany?
No, obviously I didn't fucking know that. And I believe that they were a little bit more.
No, wasn't.
And I'm not like I am full in support of Jewish people, by the way.
Yeah. Well, he's doing the same thing, just replace Jewish people with migrants. What's up in Silico?
Yeah, but the
I'm
rhetoric
just, go-
is
I'm just gonna say one thing because these MAGAs are going crazy. The European Union holds about $1.6 trillion in US debt. With the UK, it gets to $2.4 trillion of US debt. What Trump is buying is literally the European Union and the UK dumping all of this in the market, which means economic crash for the US. So if you think forcing your will on others will make others comply, dude, the European Union and the UK literally hold the economic nuclear option for the United States.
for how many years? 3 years? 3 more years?
Hun, if $1.6 trillion of US debt gets dumped on the markets, your whole economy collapses.
It's not gonna
Like
happen.
that.
Was that? Would you say Japan?
Yeah, Japan also holds quite a bit. I was talking about the European Union plus UK. European Union as a whole holds $1.6 trillion of US debt.
Yeah. Japan was
That's
slowly
enough
selling
to
off.
crash the.
Of
They
US
were
bonds?
they were slowly selling off bonds when Trump first did his tariffs. They sold like 5%, and the dollar almost crashed, and that's why he paused the tariffs in earlier this year.
So if you think the other countries hold no power over the United States,
They don't.
think again.
They
Think
don't.
again.
They do.
The first country that decides to, first of all, we're paying interest on those bonds. First of all, okay.
And if you try to encroach on our territory, like attacking Greenland, we stop caring about it.
It's rhetoric. Okay, he's not.
Cancel culture strikes again, chat. Cancel culture strikes again. Thank you so much, Melanie, for the kick.
And yes, Pickles, if they come with again with the green line and the stupid shit like that, just remind them that European Union holds 1.6 trillion of US debt, and with the UK it rises to 2.4 trillion, and dumping that on the market would mean economic crash for the United States. And yes, I've been seeing this on the news for the last month and a half. This option is in the line. Basically, the nuclear option for the US economy.
Well, I think I'm about ready to call it, y'all. I'm about ready to call it. Yeah, Japan and China hold the most. China has like 8 or 9 trillion, or I'm sorry, 700 billion. I think they have like 700 billion.
Yeah, Japan is like, if it's not the top one, it's like the second one that has enough of US debt. But as a whole, because the European Union does act as a whole in the situation, it holds enough power to crush the American economy.
Chat, don't forget to follow the stream.
And I'm gonna be upfront with this situation. None of the Europeans want this to happen. But if needs to happen to bring down a fascist like Trump, it will happen.
Tell your Democrats to cough up 25 million to my president, please. What? Is that he's trying to get the reward money? God, what a fucking crazy prick. He definitely can't be bought, though, but he's also easily, like, openly the most greediest fuck I've ever seen. Anyway. Thank you, Silico. We love you. Chat, don't forget to follow Silico. I think I'm going to get off, y'all.
Go rest. I will do the same. And stay awesome.
Will do. Chat, I'm gonna go play Final Fantasy or something. Actually, I'm probably just gonna go straight to bed. I've been up all night, so I love you. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Raid Ari? Oh, let's raid Ari. Sure. Mermaid.Ari, guys. Go raid Ari. Tell her the Pickles Army sent you. Chat, I will see you guys tomorrow. Sweet dreams, chat. Love you.